We're live.
Welcome to Plat Chat Valorant episode 253. If you are watching this video, you survived VCT Kickoff 2026. We somehow survived VCT 2026. Well, I know certainly for myself, I'm assuming for you, Sliggy, as well. Friday and Saturday, there were some fun days. They were some long fun days.
There were some long days. First day was so long, and then I went to bed. 2 hours sleep, got up for Paper X, and I was like, I can do this. And then we got to literally halfway through the second map of Paper X. I was like, I can't do this.
Yeah.
I was like, I need to sleep at one point now. It wasn't too bad though. Could be organized a little better.
It was a whole lot.
I thought you were a
Went
robot
into
though,
bed, so.
Sliggy. Like I thought you could just stream.
Honestly, I thought I could do it as well until I couldn't.
Yeah.
So, yeah, we learned this weekend.
I full went to that Paper X. And yeah, prioritize the sleep. And I was praying. I was like, "Come on, DFM, give it a game. Like, you know, give me a bit extra sleep. Like, you make a best of 3, and I'll be there for the best of 5."
Extra
They
time.
didn't. They did not. We'll get into that in a second. But before we dive into all of kickoff, of course, we'll talk about Pacific, then EMEA, then Americas, the usual. Go over all the games as we tend to do. First, let's talk about how you can support the show, and hopefully, I mean, yeah, support the people who come onto this show regularly, you know, like myself and Sliggy. Maybe some of the initial, you know, Plat Chat members. Where are they? They cannot be seen. They cannot be seen. But Kurt's still here. He's still doing all the work. So help support Kurt, I guess. Where are we on the subscribers thing, Kurt? Where is the Plat Chat channel on subscribers right now? That's members. We're
868?
taking a break.
All
Okay,
right.
Kurt's finished.
Oh, I
No,
thought
I
you
wanted
meant members.
subscribers.
I
I
thought you
wanted to
meant
see the-
members.
No,
Subscribers?
I need
I think
mine.
we're at like
Yeah.
we're really close
Ooh.
to 100,000. So
We're
if you're not
really close to
subscribed,
100,000.
99.4K is what's showing. me
Ah,
right now.
99.4K. I mean, there probably will be 600 people who watch this who are not subscribed. So Kurt needs that silver play button. Get in the silver play button as well. But anyway, become a member as well. Support the show even more if you're a diehard. Let's talk about some of the benefits you can get if you become a member. One of them, the most important one, of course, is to ask a question. Now, I think last week we dismissed the question as bad, but this week we got a good one. An interesting one, I think. Fliggy kind of already brought this up, which is the format bad? After watching all the regions and seeing 2 teams fail to win 3 back-to-back best-of-5s, the question has to be asked. Was this triple elimination poorly managed or set up? Let's start with you, Seth. Thoughts?
I mean, I'd say like, yeah, obviously it could be better. Same could be said for every tournament in any esport. Like, there's always something you could do slightly better. And I think the big thing would be just having a wider gap to, you know, between those matches. But then you're incurring things like venue costs and, you know, having to get all the staff back to do like operate another day of, you know, broadcasts and yada yada yada. So I think for what it is, it's about as good as it could be. And at the end of the day, it's just, well, you know, win your first best of 5, and then you don't have to run this gauntlet. You don't have to go through all of this stuff. Like, you know, every team is in the same position, and you know, can avoid things similarly. So I do think it is brutal, but I also think that it is laid out pretty fairly.
Yeah, I can get on board with that. I would just say that the format's good, but the scheduling could be better, kind of thing.
Yep.
Just I think the day when you had like a best of 3 into a best of 5 was probably too much. I felt like the Sunday when it was best of 5s across the board was kind of fine, to be honest. I think for the teams that go best of 5, then best of 5, best of 5, that sucks. But at the same time, the teams they're playing only ended up getting like 3 to 5 hours head start because they would just watch the best of 5 that they were playing. So it's not like too bad, but it's yeah, you can be pretty tired going in. So it could do with some tweaking, but feels pretty legit.
I feel like we got a pretty extreme example of this because, of course, all of the upper finals went to the full 5.
If map.
But of course, like, they could just be 3-0s and like just basically play the best of 3 that you know anyway. So we got an extreme example, I would say, of this, but I'm definitely in agreement that, yeah, the best of 3s into best of 5s as a day, and we did get, I think, was it Americas went full 8 maps, 8 map day. That, I mean, that's pretty rough. And also you do get the thing as well where, you know, we were running over, you know, to the other regions as well. So if you wanted to watch both, it's a little awkward as well. So I think there is definitely some things to be done.
I think what you could do is just kind of treat it like a super week because like we usually have a super week, once per year, where you would start it instead of starting on like Thursday, maybe start it on Tuesday or Wednesday, and then just have some off days. I know that for like ease of schedule and like visibility that can be tougher, and they like to stick to a very similar schedule so everyone knows like, okay, these are the days the matches are on. But you could just kind of do that and then have like Friday be a dark day or something, and then those teams get like that little bit of added time to try to prepare.
I think they could even move the first upper
like that,
final
maybe.
back a week and just play that during the second week rather
Yeah,
than
no,
the
they're
final third week. Because like I would say in general format, the America schedule I'm not happy with. I don't think it was fair that G2 got 6 days off and MIBR got 12 days off, then had to play back-to-back best of fives. Like I don't see why G2. I don't know why America's because the other regions you
Didn't
played
they change
the middle
schedule because of the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Yeah,
am
I guess.
not allowed to say that? Do I have to call it the big game or whatever?
I don't think you have to call it the big game.
Super
I think we're
Bowl.
okay there. But yeah, I do think that maybe wasn't ideal for MIBR because G2 did have like I know they couldn't know that they were going to play against MIBR, but they still had a lot of time to know probably what the map pool was.
Oh, you
sort
still
of gonna
anti
be.
both teams.
Yeah,
you
you could
still.
anti both. So
yeah.
that probably needs a fix. So, but I would say in general, to be fair to Riot, I would say we've had some scheduling problems in the past, as I'm sure anyone who's watched VCT is aware. I would say each year the schedule does get a bit better, right? Each year they do tweak it, and we get improvements each year. So hopefully that will be the case for next year. But in general, triple elimination, I think
Great.
gets the
Format,
thumbs
great.
up.
Yeah, it's really
And
nice.
having best of fives be for qualifying games,
Oh,
please,
so
all the
good.
time, please,
Yeah, yeah.
please.
I
Okay.
do think as well, like I know some of the teams that like came at the top would kind of complain, but also think within those 2 weeks, where you had the 2 weeks before your first game, you start looking at some of the other games below you. I would personally, if you have like a coaching staff that's pretty big, set someone to start anting them like early on. Like I know you don't want to prep for losing a game, but you should be doing that anyway, to be honest. So maybe some of the teams, once they get used to the format, if it is like this, can use their time a bit better, I would say.
Yeah. For sure. Okay, let's talk now about Pacific. Let's dive into it, shall we? And we're actually going to start with one of the teams that did end up losing all 3 of their best of fives. And what's interesting about RRQ is they managed to do it in different ways. They managed to play a close best of 5 first and, narrowly lose to Nongshim. They then got absolutely destroyed by T1, apart from map 3 maybe in the second one. And then played kind of a disappointing 3-1. Some hope in there, but ultimately a loss to Paper X as well. So, with that said, let's start with RRQ. We will kind of talk, we can go through the games if you want from start to finish in a way. But let's start with RRQ. Paper Thin, how's this feel? Were you expecting this to happen?
No, not really. They look so good to start the year. They look so clean with like their protocols and like their decision making and their trading. Like it looked like they really had kind of put together the complete package. They had used all that experience, kept the same roster. Yes, there's a change in the coaching, but that didn't really seem to affect much. In some ways, it maybe looked better, or they were just clapping people coming out the gate. And then they ran into Nongshim. They lose 2-3. It's close. I mean, going up against Donby's, just insane space creating and some really solid play behind him. They barely lose. Okay, whatever. And then it just starts to crumble, man. Like as those matches all go on, it's just like, in particular, like the way they're trading and some of their individual decision making just starts to crumble. Like it's just piece by piece by piece, things just start to kind of fall apart. They pick it up a little bit against Paper X again, but against T1, they were completely outplayed in just about every aspect of the game. So it's definitely concerning, and clearly like, it took its toll on them. This format did, and the scheduling, I guess, is the bigger thing, took its toll on them.
Yeah, I mean that's pretty valid. I watched the because I was sleeping during the RRQ T1, so I watched that this morning. So it's like pretty fresh in my head. I mean, obviously they lost all the pistols, but like my main takeaway from this was that I think they look a lot better when Jemkin is on the chamber, but I also feel it has to be like chamber op a majority of the times. And when they're losing all the pistols like this, they don't tend to get the op out until the 4th or 5th round. And then when they do that, normally they're up against a team with ults. So then the team just has ults to overpower you, and then it's pretty hard to get value out of their op as well. So it'll be interesting to see like what they do with the time off. Maybe going through the lower bracket, they might have like realized that they should start doing what 100 Thieves used to do. Just take the hit of someone not buying all the way up in pistol, so you could get that op out early. I think it really would have saved them in some of these. But yeah, I think they were also just like, I think they were also just like got burnt out by it for sure. And they're one of the best teams for anti. We normally talk about them for anti, so and I feel like when you're doing the best of five, maybe your game plan isn't gonna be like as refined. Also feel like the teams that went up against kind of played like Nongshim played the kind of similar level. T1 really stepped it up. PaperX really stepped it up against them.
Yep.
So it was like they got a little unlucky that everyone had like learned from their losses. And well, maybe not even T1. They actually like VOD reviewed and got to their ults good, which is like my main criticism for them.
Yeah.
They literally just like every big round they're using all the ults, and I was like, well, this wasn't what I was seeing before. So it felt like a little bit of a crumble from some of the rounds that I saw, but also it felt like other people were just peaking as they went to play them.
Yeah, that was certainly tough for RRQ. It should be said, and I do think particularly when we talk about the burnout side of it, like from the first loss that they had, we saw all of the teams who lost in the upper final lost at least the first two maps in their next game as well. So I do think it probably did have a little bit of an impact, because it was interesting. Like RRQ and MIBR, the two teams that lost their second best of three, they both got destroyed the second day. They got obliterated in the middle final. Then in the lower final, they kind of showed back up a bit more. But yeah, it was rough. Do we want to go to this Jemkin thing? Let's just get it out of the way. So I've kind of I mean you Achilles and Paper thing. You'll be more aware of this than perhaps me and Sleek, because you're there. What is Jemkin? Are these concerns valid? For those of you who don't know, Jemkin, was it made a tweet or was it in an interview like calling out Pacific, the PCs, all of that? Is he right? He want to smoking in the bathroom. He can't smoke, but they can.
I don't know about any of that stuff, and frankly, I didn't know about any of this stuff until this occurred. Literally after the games had wrapped up. I didn't know that there was these concerns, because I'd never heard about it personally. I had never heard from other teams saying that there was issues with PC frame rate, etc., that kind of stuff. The smoking in the bathroom, no idea. Which players are doing that or not. By the time we get to the bathroom, when we throw it over to the analyst desk, the players are basically already out of there. So no clue.
I've never seen it. Yeah,
who's doing that? I haven't witnessed it myself.
Like being in school, isn't it? Who's the fuck?
Yeah, a little bit.
In the toilet.
Smoking in the boys' room. But yeah, I don't know. I felt like this should have been raised sooner. And if it was, and then they were ignored, then obviously that's I think a bigger issue. But if this is the first time that this is really being put out there, like I said, I feel like I would have heard other people talking about this. I also feel like if it was that clear to hear the casters and whatnot, I feel like Frost would have jumped on this way earlier, and he would have been so vocal about it. Yeah. So I've got questions around that stuff. I mean, obviously, when you lose a game like that, you have to play this many matches back to back to back. You're going to be frustrated and more willing to speak up about some of these things. But I just need to know if this had been discussed previously, because if this was the first time that it was raised, this should have been done day one. This should have been before the tournament even started, because everyone goes in, they do tech checks, they they test the audio when they're playing music and everything in the venue, going for game as close to game realism as you're going to get, and that all happens days before the first match starts. So it feels like that stuff should have been seen early enough in advance.
I widely agree here with it. I've never seen or heard really anything. I've heard people say that they thought it might be possible that you could hear the Korean casters in the players' microphones, but I've never heard anybody actually say one way or another whether it was true or whether you could distinguish what they were saying or anything like that. So beyond that, I've never seen any of the other issues. Going back
but just
to
quickly on that point, then they're on a delay, right? So even if you could hear,
it's
what the
it's not
casters
very
were
long
saying.
though. It's not very.
It's
long.
not that long.
No, it's a couple seconds.
Oh, okay.
it's not very long. Like you'll see a round be over, like the players will get up and then it's like 2 beats and then it's
Okay.
like then we see it. So it's not that long. So I could see where it definitely could be a problem if it is being heard. But as far as I know, no one's ever said anything to me about it like, directly.
Korean scrim mafia tactics go deep.
Yeah.
I think from my point of view, we've had something similar in CS. They banned like headwear and stuff because you used to be able to have a gap where you could hear through your headset. I will say, I'm not going to name any names. I'm not going to do anyone's dirty work for them. But if you go watch some of the player cams, I do see a couple of that where you can see the bottom of people's ears.
Mm-hmm.
So do you think it's something that should probably be looked into for sure? And then also, I do think that maybe we should be increasing the like a white noise that is played. So I think the concerns are valid. I think obviously he's angry. He's angry. He's lost a lot of like 3 best of 5s in a row. But there is there is some stuff out there where you look at it and you're like, doesn't look great. Doesn't look great.
Yeah. And like the thing he said about the team being late, I think one of the coaches for Nongshim tried to clarify that they thought they were going to be late, but then they weren't or something. So there's like all these kind of question marks about the exact like timeline and how everything shook out. So I mean, I think, yeah, they're valid concerns and they need to be addressed, and especially if you can hear the casters, like that has to be fixed. That is absolutely unacceptable, period, end of story. That's got to be taken.
Okay. Well, wonderful. Let's move on. The company men of Achilles and Paper Thin who are trying not to get fired whilst addressing the concerns. They have said what they needed to say. Let's talk positive though. Let's get on to Nongshim. Let's talk happy Nongshim. I mean, unfortunately, Chober isn't here. He's going to dye his hair red, apparently because of this. I said if they won the upper final, he should shave his eyebrows. I don't think he's going to do that, unfortunately, but that would be funny if he did. And put pressure on him to do that, by the way. Make sure.
I hope it's bright. I hope it's really bright.
Yeah.
Like, I want him to look like the main character at the end of Squid Game. About to walk on that plane,
yes.
go out to Santiago, and his hair just looks ridiculous.
Yes, I really, really do. But Nongshim, they managed to do it, and they managed to do it in Nongshim fashion. Let's be real. They play their style. They play the Danby Neon. In fact, on the one map, I thought that they didn't play. Was it one map where he didn't play? Where
Abyss.
He played,
it was on Abyss.
Waylay
Yeah,
instead?
he played Waylay. Yeah.
Yeah, they lost that map, and I was just thinking, just put this guy on Neon. I don't care.
Yep.
Just put him on Neon the whole time because. And that's the thing. They're a very fun team, but they're a very unique team. In fact, quite a few of the teams I feel like we're going to talk about in this episode are quite unique and have their own style, and it works for them. And they've managed to do it. I mean, I don't think many people would have predicted them winning the upper final here, but they've managed to do it. Seth, what impressed you most about Nongshim?
I mean, yeah, just the fact that they did it, that they made this run and they stuck to their guns, because Francis had told Chobra before the tournament began that they were going to go to Santiago and they were going to do it all the way through the upper bracket. He said, like, we're going to win every single game. And then he managed to pull that off. I really thought that, RRQ with prep time would be able to come in and beat this team. I thought that they were going to have solid ante. I thought that the chamber coming up for Jemkin was really going to be able to control the double duelists and especially slow down Danby. But he just didn't really care, and he just kept running at them and killing people. Danby, I guess, just cannot be dissuaded. I was watching the majority of this on a second monitor because I was casting Overwatch that day, so I actually didn't even get to like fully deep dive into it too heavily. But every time I would get to a break on Overwatch, I'd look over and I'd be like, oh, they're doing it. My God, they're actually pulling it off. So yeah, I think just showing that they have the chops to prep the way that they did to be able to close out the series. Granted, still close, but like I said, I would have favored RQ. I think that gives me a lot more hope for Nongshim in their first international appearance, because this is, I think, a lot of times when you see a team qualify to their first Masters event. I mean, ROQ, I think, a good example of this with Toronto last year. They got to get their asses beat on stage, once or twice, and then they can really start to lock in and start leveling up your performances. I feel like Nongshim might have like a pretty decent go of it, for their first ever international. I actually am less concerned about them having those little woes.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
can get on board with that. I think my main thing was this X-Ross, how good he was playing as well. That was like a big standout for me. If anything, you watch their games before this and you're like, oh, the duelists are doing so much here. And this was like where the duelists kind of struggled a little bit. I would actually say Nongshim made this whole best of 5 a little bit harder than they needed to for themselves as well. Eco'd a hell of a lot of times on this. They really, really did.
That continued with the Paper X series as well.
Yes, yeah, it's just a common theme that got eco quite a lot. But yeah, I mean, X-Ross RB was like such a big step up, and I think for X-Ross kind of being the new kid as well, such a good confidence game to have. Dude, and I keep on thinking like who is the favorite going into Santiago, and I kind of keep coming back to Nongshim being like, dude, they're at least in my top 3 at the moment, I think, from just performance. Because again, I don't think they had the best of 5 here, and they still managed to win. I think Francis especially maybe wasn't at the top of his game from what we've seen off season and most recent as well. So it's impressive for them, and I still think they have way more to give. And they're just a great example of leaning into comfort and yeah, just doing their own version of their meta for sure.
Yeah, I mean, for me, this is just a shining example of, I think, of what you're seeing be successful widely across the, ecosphere, is that, like, if you play to your strengths, play to what, your players are best at, play their agents that they're best at, that kind of thing, that it's generally working out for you across the board. Like, those are the teams that I feel like are having the most success, and I think this team's going to give people fits. And I think one of the biggest things is now they've learned how to dial back the aggression when they need to, when to take their like kind of strategic pauses. Like especially on Haven, I really like the way that they'll take a site and then they'll kind of take a pause. They won't just keep coming at you. They'll wait to see what your response is. They'll throw up some smokes to try to buy some time to set up for an anti-retake, or they'll throw some flashes through. So throw the neon relay bolt through, and then smother the other team as they're trying to go for their retake. Stuff like that, where they're getting really good with their patience, with their timings, with their coordinations. They're starting to get the ideas well situated behind what RB wants to do as an IGL. He talked about that a lot in his post-match interview here, where he said that their struggles really amounted to him as an IGL, as the way he kind of sees the game and the way that the players have been playing the game for so long together weren't fully vibing yet, and having that off season to work all that through has really started to come to fruition. And you can see it because they're not always just go at your face, go crazy. Like, they pick their moments to explode, and they pick them really well for the most part.
Yeah. His calling was really good, and you're starting to see teams like copy their style as well. That's when you know you've sussed it, man. When you're watching other teams from other regions copy your stuff.
Yeah, I think so. You brought up a good point, because I think most of the talk for Nongshim in their previous games would have been, well, look at Danby's Neon and Francis on Euro as well, as popping off, especially with scopes and stuff. Like, it's going really well. But in this game, if you actually look at the scoreboard as well and what it felt like Ivy's lurks, constant value. X-Ross, as you said, like stepped up massively. I think that this was like, because I think if you were gonna think like, why would Nongshim struggle at Santiago, it probably would have been, had Danby and Francis just popped off, it'll be like, oh well, they'll get there, and then maybe a better team will kind of counter that double duelist, and then what do they do? But I think that this game does give you hope that, like, well, the others could still step up, and they can still potentially win games against some of the best teams in the world. So I'm excited for this team. I mean, I love the way that they play as well, and I think
so fun.
Yeah, they're so fun. Look, everybody's tried to shut them down with different stuff. Like, a lot of teams have thrown different looks at them to shut them down. Like, T1 tries shotguns, Odins, Cyphers. Like, everybody's brought a lot of the kind of standard thoughts to shutting down the Neon and its ability to create space. No one's been 100% successful.
Yeah, the Odins look pretty good. The Odins definitely.
I think the Odins are good.
Yeah,
holding some of those tight angles worked really well with the Odin. Yeah.
Hope they don't run into NRG then, because they might be in.
That's the one team that scares me. That and G2 maybe, but yeah.
Just realized I was muted. I was just gonna say, like, I feel like it might even come down to needing a meta change to really have people be able to shut them down with consistency. Because some of the big tools and agents that would do well in the past to slow down the Neon are just kind of out of the meta right now. Like, no one's playing Deadlock. Like, she's just not in a super strong state at the moment, and maybe it might take some buffs and whatnot to her kind of control, or Cypher getting rebuffed up as well to really start to curb this, where Nongshim has to even think if they want to play the Neon anymore. But for right now, I think they just have so much free reign. I think the meta's in a good spot. I think that their read is really good, and they've just, like Paper Thin was talking about, kind of like figured out how to, what they want the identity for this team to be in game alongside RRB's calling.
I think you also brought up a good point. They're actually in a really safe spot right now. Like if you think of the duelists that are fast on the chopping block in terms of like actual nerfs, like it's Deadlock and Yoru. Then they can go over towards the Neon, which is still strong. You can go solo Neon at the moment. You can do that. Yeah. There can be other duelists that you can pop with it as well. Like in terms of leaning heavy on a Neon at the moment, I would feel incredibly safe as a team. You're not like counting down the days of like, oh, this could happen at any point and then we'll have to change everything up. It should be a relatively easy pivot if that day does come and we get the Waylay Yoru enough.
And I mean, well, we've seen other teams, we'll get to them later on as well, that have maybe pivoted towards the Neon and it finds some success. It's interesting. I remember from last year, like going through the stats of like, last year at kickoff was when everyone like started playing Yoru. Like everyone started playing Yoru for the first time. Like, also, obviously teams that did do it before, but like everyone's playing Yoru. But Yoru's win rate at the start of the year was atrocious to start the year, and it got very good by the end. But to start off, people weren't that good at playing Yoru, and I think we're getting a similar sort of thing with the Waylay, where if you've got someone who can pull it off, you've got Timotino, yeah, go for it. But if you don't, like, you might as well just stick with some of the duelists that, people can actually play. Because as we see, Neon is still very, very strong. And if you've got a good Neon, then play Neon. So Nongshim, I mean, I cannot wait to see the Plat chat power rankings for this event, by the way.
I've already
what
said,
the hell
I've already said I'm not doing
on?
it, man. I'm not doing
What
it.
the hell is going on? Because normally, like, the bottom teams and the top two, like, normally the top two are like, that's pretty easy. And the bottom two are pretty easy. Like, this one is going to be, what the hell are we going to do? Anyway, let's move on. Let's talk about the team that I would say did have a big step up in their performance for their middle final. And that was T1, who basically just slapped down RRQ, and I think that they kind of showed the T1 that I think we hoped for, we dreamed of at the start. This was the T1 that was kind of promised that they hadn't really shown up until these kind of final couple games they played. Sliggy, you did mention their ults and stuff, but was there anything else that you particularly enjoyed from T1?
Just general calling, I think, as well. I think Munchkin got a little comfier. Honestly, I think he just simplified it at the end as well, because especially when I watch this, I know every team's pretty good at snowballing, so maybe it's not like the best example, but it did just feel like he had kind of sussed it out. When they got Buzz on the Neon as well, I think they're very good at just being like, mate, you just need to send it in. Like, we don't care about your score, even though he's kind of doing Danby stuff. So I think my main takeaway was every single game they look better and better and better, but like the whole thing, I was just like, they're so bad with ults that I didn't think they would get too far. And then literally this RRQ game was like so good for ults, like actually like really good. It's like, here's a big round, you got 2 ults. The other T1 games, they wouldn't use those 2 ults, they would wait like 3, maybe next half. But for this, they were like using them on all the big rounds. It looked horrible to be Jemkin in this, it really did. So that was my main takeaway. I was just like, damn, they're winning pistols and the calling is so much better right now, so much better. And they played with a lot of confidence, especially Izu. Izu's very confident right now.
And this map, the final map of Abyss might get lost in the shuffle because there was so much of the Valorant. This was one of the most unbelievable OTs I think I've seen. There was so many incredible like clutch moments. I mean, Kurt, if you just show the end, you could show the end of the game. You could show round 36. The way it ended is unbelievable. But there was so many crazy moments. I mean, this was actually, they were 9-3 up and kind of
it was crazy
in the second half, but then it got insane.
I was kind of frustrated with both teams during this overtime, if I'm being completely honest. Because they weren't like, it was just like, go A, plant, 5v5. The other team tries to retake. You can't do it. Shocker. Because you're both running like really heavy post-plant comps with the Astra, Sova, and then a Brimstone on one side and a Tejo on the other. And like, they weren't getting deep into each other's, post-plant positionings and spawns and mains and stuff. So I was actually mauling a bit because I was like, we're just going to keep doing this over and over again.
So we were. But it was kind of, well, yes, I was also molding alongside you, but I was kind of like, it led to a lot of like crazy 1v3s and clutches and random stuff going on that I was like, well, at least it's fun, even if, macro-wise, we've kind of lost the plot a little bit.
Some of it was, it was definitely a bit more silly rather than like this is the
Yeah,
peak.
it wasn't
this is the fucking
unbelievable.
pinnacle of gameplay. Like both teams are just operating on such a different plane. Like
Two drunk
nah, there
men
was
fighting
some
each other.
there's some idiocy on display here.
Yeah.
But also I think one of the big things that stood out to me, especially in this series for T1, is just finding these little gaps in the armor of RRQ that they can exploit and just doing it perfectly. Like Izu's top sight lurk on this A side, when he's just tucked into a smoke and then he gets that drop down and he's able to spray and kill 3 people. Moments like that were just insane. And then you get into, I think it was the round prior to this, but Stacks, disrespecting the molly, just walking through, finding a timing, cleaning up the kill on the full HP member, and then just able to kill Cushy, who was down to like 33 HP. Just being able to choose those moments and find them with like regularity was really, really impressive for T1. Because every time I started seeing them get into that spot, I was like, holy shit, they're gonna be good for this. Like they're not gonna beef this. Whereas, for RRQ, this was very
watching him
unfortunate
plant
beef.
that spike. I'm like an Interstellar.
It was
No!
really mean, man. They had a molly and everything.
There's smoke for heaven as well still. And they planted there, and oh, what a terrible end. But unlucky for RRQ. T1
I
go
have,
into Masters. Go on, Paperton.
Yeah, I actually I was rewatching the T1 RRQ series today, and I kind of disagree with Sliggy a little bit that they simplified it. I think they actually
Really?
opened up the playbook a little bit in terms of
Okay.
like their macro decisioning. So one thing I was noticed was a lot of misdirection for T1 in terms of who's going to be the solo player in a 1-4 split, or are they going to do like a 1-1-3 split, especially on their attacker side. Like I saw rounds where they're selling fakes with Stacks, they're selling fakes with Izu, they're selling fakes with Buzz, they're selling fakes with Meteor on this map. The opening pistol of Abyss is Meteor dashing into B site, then immediately pivoting over in towards Link, getting a kill while 3 players are going into B and Stacks is watching the mid for lurk. And like, I really was actually pretty impressed with the way that they were changing up. Like, if there is a lurk, is it 1 player? Is it 2 players? Like, they were really keeping RRQ off balance in a lot of these rounds. Like, there was that Breeze round where Buzz had the op and Munchkin's pushing with him. They're trying to retake over towards A. And, Munchkin gets killed, and Buzz there with an op comes up behind it and kills I think it was X-Pharaoh on RRQ unexpectedly, because he's like, it's just Munchkin. He's by himself probably. So I think actually they're getting a lot more comfortable in terms of being able to open up the playbook. At least that's kind of how I felt when I was rewatching it today.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, I might have missed that. At least from the Pearl and the Breeze, it looked very. It looks like Jemkin has
Well,
an
they
op.
didn't have to-
Let's.
They didn't
Let's
really need to do
rush him.
anything there.
No,
Yeah,
I mean, it's still good to just like making sure that Jemkin can have no success. Like it's not the craziest thing, but it's like shutting down a player that's been carrying a team is like still
That was
good.
huge.
Okay, let's move on to the team that Sliggy's desperate to talk about, I'm sure, which is Paper Rex. First, before we dive into what actually happened, Sliggy, is another train happening?
I mean,
Where are you on that?
surely it's already going. Surely it's still
You
going.
think the train
from
is on
last
its way?
I mean, it has to be, mate. It's a lower bracket run. It's already on
Okay,
its way, man.
okay.
Surely.
But like, are you saying this is a full? Would you put your career on the line right now to say
I mean,
the Paper Rex are going
I-
to win Masters Santiago?
I said at the beginning of this year they win 2 trophies. So
Okay. Well, you put your career on the line. I've just done it for you.
just kickoff count as a trophy. They didn't lift it, but
Well, that's something else we can talk about with kickoff. The 3 trophies, the participation trophies we're getting here. Woke Valorant strikes again.
yeah.
Anyway, let's talk about their run. They actually played 3 games in this since we last did a Plat chat. They managed to beat DRX. So let's go in order of their games, right? Honestly, so much Valorant has happened. The only thing I remember about the DRX game is being annoyed at DRX, and I can't even remember why. I didn't write notes, and so I can't remember why I was annoyed at DRX. But
Well,
I
this was the third map, Breeze. Yeah. So this was this is when Kunman was just like turbo fucking them with an outlaw, and then every single time
he couldn't hit an op
he got
shot.
an op.
Yeah.
He
Couldn't
could
hit an
not
op
kill
shot.
anybody. And they
Oh.
kept buying it. They kept going for the operator, and they got 0 value from it. It was ridiculous. But anytime he had an outlaw, so much impact. He's killing 4 in the round, and then just operator couldn't couldn't buy a kill.
Only
with this thing.
time an op has ever been bad on Breeze. Like
It was
legit.
ridiculous.
Oh, yes, that now it all comes flooding back. Yes, I was getting quite annoyed at DRX because they couldn't hit an op shot. Let's talk
think that
quickly
the
about
most-
DRX though. Sorry, Seth. I know. Well,
No,
let's
you're
go
good.
to you because you love DRX. So let's see. Where are you on this performance from DRX? Like, is this okay? Would you expecting more for them overall in this tournament?
I mean, I predicted them to win this, but it was I called it pretty 50-50 between them and Paper X. I think it was really just going to come down to who, manages to continue to improve a little bit faster. And we started seeing just, more consistent performances out of, like Envy, who had some very big struggles early on in kickoff. So it felt like Paper X were just kind of outpacing them a little bit as far as their growth was concerned. But I'm not like at all worried for DRX as far as like their future. Like I think that this is still going to be a team that is contending. They're going to be, looking to make deep runs at playoffs, be able to, win the stages here in Pacific, and then continue to go and have strong performances internationally. They're in a very tough group. Like Group Alpha is stacked to hell. So
And Team Secret.
that could wasn't even going to mention it. That could maybe bite them if everybody is so contentious, which is kind of what I expect. But yeah, I didn't come out of this series and be like, oh man, this team is cooked for the season or anything like that. Like I think that they looked also improved compared to their first outings.
Yeah. I think they felt pretty good. Like honestly, they should have realistically 2-0'd this. I feel like their Haven was nice, man. If you get a better start on one of these halves, and then I think you win that. To be honest, so
Yep.
I came out of this again just thinking, especially with like the changes that they had and the amount of comp changes that they do and different agents and different roles that they play, and they're doing it on hard mode again. But I came out of this feeling fine about DRX. It's just Paper X. Paper X, once they get the demos, just become so much better. And this was already like 2 losses in, where, well, maybe I think they'd lost some maps as well, where they kind of just had the footage to get better at. I came out of this feeling pretty good about DRX, to be honest with you.
I liked the comps, and I think I said it on the broadcast that it felt like old Vision Strikers as far as the comp, like looking at it, but the soul wasn't there yet. Like they were still clearly developing this, the Breach Waylay, Teo type stuff where you have these massive alt combos that you can just completely screw whoever's on this side of the map with them. It felt like the idea is good. It just didn't quite get there in practice yet. And I think that with just, some more time, it's going to be better and better.
I really thought Hermes looked comfortable as hell on the KO. He was hitting some nasty.
He
flips.
definitely improved.
Leaning
big
into
time.
that was great for them.
Yeah, because he started off a little bit rough, but it definitely got better as time went on.
I mean,
so that's DRX.
He's gonna play a bit of everything, man. He's got a rough role, dude.
Yeah.
Just like, here you go, man. You're welcome to the team. Here's 3 different roles for you to play. You're gonna play all these different agents.
They nerf Yoru though for stage 1. Then the KO, he'll be in a good spot for the KO.
Yeah.
The KO is already popping off on some maps. But let's move on, and I'm gonna come to you here, Paper Thing, because I saw you in that DFM amazing jacket that you were wearing. I don't know if you had it with you or if it was a part of the broadcast.
No, that's a Kame's jacket actually.
Oh, is it?
They let
That's
me
cool.
borrow it. Yeah, for that.
I was going to say, we didn't get those last year.
I tried to steal it, but they weren't. Yeah, they wouldn't let me. Yeah.
Anyway, you were wearing the jacket. You were looking hella fine, but
Thank you.
DFM were not looking hella fine.
No.
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 I mean, it's sad captain noises over here. I feel like this came down to mental. I think the T1 series kind of broke them a little bit when they flubbed 3 pistol rounds that they literally lost to 1vx clutches to Stacks, and one of them was Munchkin. I think that kind of started to break them a little bit because I think they came out of that T1 series feeling like they should have at least taken it to 3 maps. And they probably should have, but they didn't. And they made some big mistakes in key moments where they weren't swinging together. They weren't, kind of calming properly in those moments. And I think that kind of started to snowball after they lost the first map here against Paper X, where again, probably feeling like they have a really good chance here on Haven. And then, some of the protocols start to break down, like nobody swings there. You're just trying to let Yatsuka do his thing. And then Forsaken kills you. And then, Yatsuka started to lose confidence very quickly. Like that was another big thing is he really fell apart there, especially on split. He had a really rough go of it. So that really hurts them. It's kind of like having that extra layer of firepower behind May to challenge some of these bigger name teams. Overall, I think this felt like they ran out of ideas as well. It felt very basic, very simple, especially in the Paper X match. I didn't feel like they were employing some of the trickery and kind of interesting tactics. I don't know, if maybe they need to drill some new kind of ideas into their macro assess as the IGL, but it just all just came crumbling down. And then that split was just tragic. I mean, that 1v2 against something made me just die inside.
Wow.
This felt to me like it was just textbook. Like we just narrowly lost a very close map, and then we can't recover for the second one. That and just not having too much time to try to turn around, come up with anything new for the split, which they had just played the day prior versus T1. It just felt like they had just kind of run out of steam. But I think similar situation. Like I'm still very hopeful for DFM. They very much are kind of like the guiding star of Japanese Valorant at the moment, and this is, I think, without a doubt, the strongest roster that the org has ever had. And I think that I don't think that this is going to be a flash in the pan type situation where it's like, oh well, they're just never going to be able to make it that close to qualifying for the rest of the year. Like I think that they absolutely could, but when we got to split, it just felt like players were falling asleep a little bit. They just weren't focused in.
And I also think they flubbed the map draft real quick against T1. They had Abyss open and they didn't pick it. That was.
They were worried about the triple duelist.
Well, as long as they could defend A, they probably would have been fine. But anyway, DFM, they're gone. I mean, they finished 5th in this tournament. Obviously, you need to finish top 3 or 4 if it's champs to make it. Paperthin, will DFM make an international this year?
Yes.
He says with confidence.
Very confident.
I feel like they should have learned a lot from all of this. And I think, actually, Seth, you said something on the cast the other day that actually made me think of what happened with this team after this. You mentioned that after Izu lost that one kickoff and he was crying on stage because of how much it hurt him. Well, we saw that with Yatsuka here, where he really took this loss very hard. And so I hope that kind of gives him, because he showed tons of promise this stage, that it gives him and the team that confidence that they can get this stuff done. And I mean, 5th, their best finish ever, right, in Pacific. So it's still trending up. It's still trending better. You've still got better players. You got a better coach. Like everything looks like it has the potential to be better. Like you could be a 4th or a 3rd place team. So I think they could do it. I really do.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, to be fair to you, you've been on this ship
for a while.
They've been finishing 11th
now.
Yeah,
I'm like,
I mean,
Magellan.
This is as good as it's been.
Coming around the bottom of Chile now, but I missed it.
I think he should go down with the ship, which means that I get to cast with somebody else.
No, no, you're stuck with me.
When they get eliminated, I get to just carry over somebody else.
Yeah, maybe.
You're stuck in the Mariana Trench.
I would say there's so many positives though for this team. It's like the only negative is just the Pacific is stacked. That's it. That's like the only reason why, because it's the best they've looked. It's the best Japanese team we've probably had since 2022 run. Yeah. Maybe some towards the beginning of 2020. Yeah, I was gonna say beginning of 23, basically until Laz went.
Yeah, Laz. Basically, without Laz, it's been rough.
but yeah, I would be feeling good, man. Firepower's good. Game plans. You've shown enough that you can adapt.
They have enough firepower to compete. That's an improvement over previous years and or Zeta Division maybe now. So that's a start. We've got to start, and then they're pretty good. They're pretty good. Yep. This is the first time that I can say those words about DFM.
Yeah, they're inexperienced.
For a consistent time, at least. Anyway, let's move on. We've already talked about the final team that Paper X beat. That was RRQ. Sad for them. Unlucky. But Paper X managed to beat all these 3 teams. And, well, I've gone for Seth. You talked about DRX first. Paperthin, you talked about your boys DFM first. Sliggy, your boys. Everyone's boys, Paper Rex. They managed to make it to another international. What do you think was the driving force behind because they had played some shockers.
No, I think that was the driving force. That they had played some shockers. I think
Oh.
I think this team has to like go. They have to do the lower bracket run. They're like the not a fair comparison, but similar storylines where it's like they have to go to lower bracket like Liquid. I think they need to learn from the losses or like losing maps to be like, guys, we can't do this because they do so much stuff that isn't fundamentally correct that you only learn unless they get punished, and then you watch it so much, you're like, oh, they get away with this so often that like you don't really flag it. I think they had to like lose these 1v3s, had to not use the ults, had to force by the light armors all the time to kind of learn, no guys, we do have to eco here. Oh, it is a 3v5, maybe we shouldn't peek, like let's do everything together. So I think it was just I think it was all the losses they literally had to go through and just be like, oh yeah, this is what we did last year that didn't work, and then just slowly just remember it all, but I guess experience it again. Because this was a generational performance, by the way, from Forsaken. First time ever on an agent dropping 35 is unheard of. Like, it's actually unheard of.
If it went to 5, he definitely he beats Martine's record from the day before. Like
And
he
that
would have
been
just
insane. That would have been
obliterated it
insane
just
if
back
he
to
would have
back.
broken the record one day after Martine.
Yeah, it was nuts.
He was playing like crazy, but pretty much just everybody was. I mean, when I saw him just immediately stand up, go take his bow, and then just proceed to jump on everybody, like he was feeling it in a way that like he has maybe never felt it before. Maybe not since winning Toronto. He was just absolutely on one. But I said it during the cast, like this team has more heroes than the goddamn Justice League. But the plays that they were able to pull out of their asses. At times when they are, backs up against the wall, should be losing, should be giving over key advantages to RQ. They just pull another one out. I mean, the 1v3 spray transfer for him, all of the stuff that Forsaken was doing, there was just so many wild moments. And what they really need to do, and I'm sure that this is one of the big things that Alex is going to be focusing on, is playing a fucking anti-eco out cleanly, because good God, the number of thrifties surrendered in this, not even just in that last map, but in this series was ridiculous. And that is something that they cannot be doing at Santiago. If they're going to do that, there's going to be teams that are absolutely going to run over them.
They should, in theory, be pretty good with it. Like something with an outlaw should be. Yeah, I mean, they should be. They actually should be able to not do a lot of stuff they're doing. I will say one like really big shining light that I saw just from like isolating this best of 5 was the pistols as well. The pistols are really good. They're coming up with brand new pistols that are fucking crazy. Like the Pearl pistol where they're 4-person walking down mid over towards spawn. That's mental. And then they did something similar where they B split on Haven, but like through Garage. Maybe there was a game before. But dude, I'm watching some of their pistols thinking, oh, someone's taken over their pistols here. Because we're not doing the normal 4-1 that everyone knows about where RQ just hit 3 at spawn and just wait for them. Like they're actually like learning on the fly, and it's just right at the right time. And honestly, I think going to Santiago, not being far seed and having those games extra is just way better for them. They're a team that need to lose to learn this stuff. Yeah, is this the pistol?
The Pearl one,
yeah, dude. We've never seen this stuff with a smoke behind it, and you got the veto trip behind it. I will say this was some of the better veto theory, more so when they I started watching it at the beginning, and I was like, I don't really like the veto at the moment. Then they called a timeout, and they started being really proactive over towards B, and then they would push B, put the trip down, and then have a TP back, and then they were stacking like the right sides. Then I was like, oh, okay, like I get it now. Like I can see like the first time visually that I could feel Wendler's just impact in the game, like their assistant coach. So I thought this was really cool to see. Yeah, it's a lot of individuals. You know, when you have those close games, I always talk about in the close games, like, oh, it's one of those, it's so close that everyone's going to think about the round that lost them. With pay practice to say everyone's going to think about that one round where they made that hero play and won it. So it's pretty cool, man. I'm excited to see them just grow and get better and better.
And Wendler's through the ringer now with this one, because like you watch they put out they had the comms for the NV1v3, and he's just losing his fucking mind. You can tell that he's got to be thinking like, how the hell has Alex been doing this for this many years, man?
But it's also impressive like how fast they clean up their maps. Like they'll have a bad map next time they play. It's a good map. You can visibly see what they're putting the majority of their time after each game into. Really cool. Really cool.
And they're willing to change who plays what if
Mhm.
need be. Like, putting Forsaken back on the Yoru on Breeze works a treat. This change on Pearl was absolutely a great call. I mean, one of the things I noticed was Forsaken got tons of value out of the Veto ult. Like, he countered so many alts. Like, in that last round, he counters the Teo ult. Like, he's just doing a great job with it. One thing I noticed, I was going back and watching their bind, is that they have some really cool like attacker side TPs on these like set executes. Like they'll use like the orbital strike and then they'll TP like right as it's finishing like into a
Back of it.
smoke and then like they've got all these cool little setups that they're running on bind when something was playing the Veto. Even though they didn't win the map, I saw some really good stuff on the attacker side there, so I assume a lot of that could potentially be even further implemented on here on Pearl as well, despite just a generationally great performance from Forsaken. I mean, it was one of the best games I've ever seen. He was fun.
Yeah, it was. Dude, that was a cool round actually that you spoke about. The Brim ult back at B round with the TP through. That was that was really cool.
That was so sick.
That was cool.
I do think if Paper X are going to win Santiago, I do think something was maybe a little underwhelming, considering like this, when we were going into champs or whatever, he was like consensus best player in the world. Do you think he's been a little bit quieter? Obviously, it hasn't cost them that much because they still made it overall. But I think if they're going to win Santiago, they might need him, really start
sure.
locking in again.
No, absolutely.
It's
an it's a scoped meta.
Yeah,
and
because it should suit him.
So he should be near the top, and I do think he steps up a little bit, but it's not anywhere near the levels we see or expect, I would say.
Okay, before we end with Pacific, I'm gonna ask you three a tough question, I think, and that is, I want you to rate the order in terms of likelihood to win Masters Santiago of the 3 Pacific teams. Obviously, Nongshim are starting in the playoffs, but then you've also got T1 and Paper Rex, who are both quite good. So, how would you rank those 3 teams in terms of likelihood to win Santiago?
I'd put T1 first in priority.
Really? Wow.
I mean, they won a trophy last year when it felt like they had no business doing it. Then the roster's just gotten stronger because now they have Munchkin, who has lifted a trophy before as well. And you've got Meteor, who's got 2 wins.
They're looking better than they
Masters
did
stage.
going into the last
Like,
Masters.
Yeah, like
They won that one.
It felt like we were kind of getting the development that we saw from them at Bangkok throughout this like kickoff. Because they started off, they looked really rough. They dropped their, opening series versus Nongshim. They can't win pistols to save their fucking lives. And then by the end of it, they're winning every single pistol, which was one of the big, curves in their trend upward back at Bangkok. Was that they started just winning every single pistol round. So I'd go for them just because the veterancy is there. They know what it's like to win on a stage like that. So I'd say them, and I think that they do look, for the moment, just slightly ahead of Paper X, but Paper X could just also fucking show up and go crazy. But it's close, honestly. But I would say T1
Anyone
first.
else?
I don't want to.
I'm the same.
I don't want to.
I don't want to, but
It's a crazy hard question. Isn't it?
It is, because I feel like one of these 3 teams is winning the event, and I'm not convinced
Well, I
which
mean,
one
you
it
would
is.
say that. We're gonna next segment is gonna be Minnie's going, yeah, I think BBL they got a great chance, and then in America's going, yeah, no one's being.
I would probably go T1, Paper X, Nongshim in that order, top to bottom.
Leggy, you've got to go Paper. I mean, you literally said they're winning 2, so you
I
have to
think,
play.
I think they're winning 2 this year, so I would go Paper X. The thing is, if I take away T1, I know they can snowball, but I haven't really seen what they would be like if they lose loads of pistols. I would go Paper X, Nongshim, T1.
Okay.
I'm just a T1 disbeliever, man.
Yeah,
I even went to bed going, oh, we know T1 aren't going to be ROQ. I woke up to a 3-0. I was like, oh.
Okay, and if Chobra was here, of course, he would be raging, I'm sure, with his red hair.
No, he wouldn't want to curse them or anything. He wouldn't say Nongshim. He'd absolutely be like, oh, yeah, T1. Yeah, it's T1.
Okay, well, I think that
he can
will
hedge his
do it.
bets, though, with his hair. It'll work for T1. So if Nongshim bombs out once they start playing in the playoff round, he could just support T1 the whole way.
Yeah.
You think it would be better for Nongshim to play the... to not be first seed and play the others, or do you?
Yes. Yes.
That is probably my
Possibly.
biggest concern for them, is that they will, because we saw all last year. Just how these teams that had the advantage of being seated forward just got bodied. Happened to RQ, happened to XLG. Like I'm a bit concerned about that for Nongshim, but I still have, I think, a decent amount of faith in them being able to come out the gates and be prepared.
I mean, one argument against Paper Rex, by the way, is that their first game is against G2. That they could very well lose. But then again, I understand why he's a team T1 hater.
Good.
Look what shirt he's wearing. He thinks T1 have got no chance in their first game against Liquid.
Ah, dude, Liquid. If they beat teams with no practice, let alone having some practice, that'll be fine.
Nats versus Nongshim,
that scares
that
the
could be
fuck out of
so
me.
good.
God,
That could feed generations.
That's
Those two games will be good. Yeah. Okay.
He doesn't have an easy target like he did with FNATIC. He can't just be like, oh, we just go for Meteor over and over again.
Stacks has got ult, guys.
I want him
Stacks is starting to frag a little bit.
5 years. Like, yeah. I guess you could try to go for Stacks, but he's been doing all right.
He's been playing better, yeah.
He's getting better. He's using his ult. That's the main thing.
Okay.
If he's got a sheriff, I wouldn't fuck with him.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, thank you both, Paperthin and Achilleos, for being here. Me and Sliggy are going to stay on for EMEA, where we're going to bring in Mr. Mini, who could be anywhere in the world at this point, maybe in a different prison, we'll find out, and ShyoWager.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Goodbye. Oh, he's
the
here.
paper fin. The paper fin picture is pretty good.
Hello, Mini. Hello, Shyo.
Hello,
Welcome
hello.
both.
Hello.
Is my mic working?
Yeah,
It
it's
is,
very
yeah.
loud actually.
Okay.
It's
It's
nice.
louder this time. You come in confident.
It's
Nats
just,
has
it's
given you a
just,
speech.
it's just me. I'm just a more confident
Saying it
individual.
with your
you know?
chest.
Mm,
Holy.
yeah.
He's out of prison. He's got.
I got a new
confidence.
bed. Got a new bed. Up
New
next to the
bed?
prison. Yeah.
Very nice.
Oh, my
Oh.
camera moves still. That's interesting. Did you see that?
Whoa.
Oh, wow.
Oh.
Oof. I'm not gonna shout out. It's a bit weird. They shouldn't be doing that. I don't. Yeah.
Anything new on your? Anything new that you want to show off in your bedroom from last week? Anything
That sounds
changed?
wrong. That doesn't sound very good. Does it? Absolutely nothing I want to show off to you in my bedroom, TMV. No.
Oh, what?
Damn, dude.
We're not like that. Okay.
No,
I've
not
misread
yet.
the situation. Okay. Shyo, you okay?
Yeah, bro. I just went to sleep for like 20,000 hours yesterday after that whole weekend debacle of trying to stream everything. Didn't survive like Sliggy did for 2-1 RQ, but past that was really fun. Kickoff is lit. I'm
Nice.
going through withdrawal right now. I need more games, man. Where are my 17 hours of Valorant in the day?
Dude, I
We got-
had that yesterday. I was like, oh, it feels weird. No games today. That's really weird. Where are my games?
Though on the long days, I don't know if you get this, Lee. Like when you get to like the Americas final day, the Pacific first day, like first games, it feels like a different day. Like it feels like an actual day has gone past you, and like that was not today. So much has happened.
It's
It's actually insane.
You do look back, dude. When I'm like, oh, we saw something similar to that, and I was like, what the hell was it? I watched so many games. It could be any of them.
Yeah. Well, good thing that we're here and we've all, Mini, you're gonna have to carry this because apparently we can't remember what happened.
Well, I didn't work broadcast, so I don't have as many notes this week. So we're kind of
Oh,
doing.
boy.
Shyo is here to
Oh, no.
carry, I think.
Oh no. Okay.
Maybe. Out of all
Well-
everyone on this panel, I'm the one carrying. This is gonna be crazy. Holy. Okay.
Let's dive into it. We're going to start with the team that made it through the uppers. BBL made it to their first international partnership. Have they been to one before? Partnership? I'm
No.
misremembering.
International. They missed out on champs by like one game. Or something,
Supermassive
right?
Blazes, I think, who I'm thinking of, isn't it?
Mhm.
Who like had similar players to
They
BBL
went to
at one point.
Berlin.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So there you go. BBL first internet. I mean, there's been quite a few teams that are making their first international for this one, but BBL are one of them. And BBL, it's funny. I'm looking at the show notes here, Mini, and I was gonna talk about BBL the same thing, but I'm gonna let you start with this because
Oh,
the
okay.
way BBL play Valorant is, I don't know if I've seen anything like it.
Yeah, I mean,
Go on.
I don't want to meme it completely because I don't think it's like every round is insane. But there's a specific, like when I used to talk about Turkish Valorant. Well, okay, let me just talk about this round. So basically, we're gonna see. You can't see on the minimap, but basically, oh, there we go. Lovely, thanks, Kurt. The fucking production. A and B. Look at it. Both sides at once. Both team. They got Euro on one side of the map and Whaley was in on the other side of the map. And then
Double
at the
works
same
for
time,
me.
they have complete mid control. Like this is 2 seconds into the round. They got full B site. They had full A site, and they have top middle. I don't know if I've ever seen that before. Even in my ranked games, it's not that quick. I've never seen a ranked game this quick. So
This
like,
is nuts.
I don't think it's obviously. I don't want to like meme it to the point where they do this every round or like. But there's a very specific. They must have a keyword because I was watching VODs today, and they know when they're doing this. It's not like they're just randomly doing it. Like it is a structured, like we're gonna create pressure here, we're gonna create pressure here. And I think it's to do a Waylay too. Like obviously the Waylay can do that and get out and it's fine.
Yeah.
But they just have this like they must have a keyword for like we're gonna go crazy on two sides of the map at once. Because it's it feels like PaperX, but with PaperX, I know it's a bit more intuitive. With BBL, it feels like they've actually planned that we're going to be really stupid. But like it's not stupid because they planned it and they kind of understand how it's going to work.
The only time it's stupid is when Rose then takes the spike and doesn't know which way to go, and he runs one way and then goes,
Oh,
wait.
dude, yeah.
Yeah, they did that again in that game. It was the same against Vitality. They took the whole of the left side B site and then just ran all the way back to A for no reason. It was like, wait, one sec, you did have the whole site. So yeah, the funniest thing is that maybe planting the spike is their like biggest weakness, but getting onto sites is apparently like very easy for them. But yeah, no, I just really impressed. Like I think back when me and Bosa used to talk about Turkish Valorant in like 2021, we had a joke that they had like this thing called a Turkish default, which was basically they would go to every choke on the map and shoot you from that choke on attack side. And it was like kind of funny because like we're getting battled everywhere. But now it's like they're even just executing multiple places at the same time, which with Waylay specifically seems kind of interesting to me, that you can push and pull at the same time. Like traditionally you would take one part of the map and fake it and then go the other side of the map with numbers, but it's like they just trust Lovers Rock and Low Rock at the same time to do it. And then yeah, there's loads of different things they do. Even Lovers Rock himself, they're using him very well as just like a kind of lurking aggressive Yoru a lot of the time, where like he's just sent off to go do his thing whilst they create pressure elsewhere, and they can kind of back and forth off of him because he's got a TP. Like it's, I think they have really interesting ideas in this meta in terms of like the aggressiveness and styles of play that I've never seen before. I think PaperX are the closest, but PaperX, I think again, it's more intuitive than structured in a way. Yeah, I'm just being really having a lot of fun watching a lot of like there's ideas there that I've thought about in the past but never really had to kind of dig into because it's like the metas that I've coached in or the kind of styles that we had never really meant that we had to do anything like that. And so to me, they're making me actually think about the game like differently, which I think is you know, hats off, I guess.
Yeah, dude, this I mean, speaking of having fun, this best of 5 was the best of 5 out of the whole weekend. It was so good. Like the first best of 5, the BBL Gentlemates.
I mean, the first 3 maps of this game are unbelievable.
Yeah. It was so fun to watch. I do have like a bit of an issue with some of the EMEA teams that are going. I feel like all 3 EMEA teams that we're sending have a bad map.
Yep.
That's like my worry at the moment. Liquid, I don't know exactly where it stands. I haven't seen it for a while. Their poll. Obviously, they maybe fixed or like did a fast fix on the others. We got BBL, Split, and then Gentlemates. Corrode, yeah, that's it.
The issue is they also have a ban map too. So it's like, to me with mates, it's like I would rather go to their ban map at Breeze than Corrode because I just watched it and it wasn't very good.
Yeah.
And then BBL, it's some very simple things to fix on Split, but I don't know if they know. If they watched the VOD I just did, I think they'd actually fix it, to be honest.
But I think they, I think it's because they have their Cypher main on Viper, right? So it doesn't feel natural. They like have to be more proactive and they're not proactive enough.
Their defense is, I mean, truthfully, the defense on Split is literally they don't take B main control when they should.
Yeah,
it's not that difficult.
You got to react.
So, it's surprising to me for a team that's so aggressive usually on their defense. On Split, they don't really understand when or where, you know. Yeah, that 1v4. Like, honestly, Mates should have won this map, I think.
Yeah.
I mean, if they don't win that, Mates win the
also,
map,
Mates had a really bad round where they had Waylay ult in like 11-11. It's like really close, deep into the game. They have Waylay ult and they just push A main with the Waylay and Waylay dies. I'm like, you have a Waylay ult. Like, there's still some little things that I'm seeing in the teams where I'm like, okay, there's still some Valorant left to be improved here. But ultimately, both teams were perfect for this meta and perfect kind of to watch for this meta, honestly.
When I saw the 1v4 on Abyss and Gentleman's lost this, I was like, oh man. All I could think about was them losing all the best of 5s and then just going out and then everyone just clipping that 1v4. It's such a brutal 1v4. We didn't see it was Beepos, right? POV.
Yeah.
Dude, the EMEA replay guys are savages. Even they didn't have the heart to show it. It's great. Must have been crazy, bro.
Yeah.
I'm glad for his sake that he managed to go through.
There were some crazy like mates really needed to dig deep to handle what BBL was doing as well. A lot of the times, like I feel like if it's any other team, like the way mates anchor is just really cool, especially on even attack sides. Like when they get on the site, there's like a Haven round where like you're using Cypher one-way cages on top of like Omen one-way smokes as well to stop BBL, and they still almost win, and Glyph has to get like an insane 3 or 4K to win that round. Like the amount of times that like mates have to come out with like the most bolster strat, plus on top of that like Martine popping off and someone else like Mini or Glyph doing well too. Like the scores are really close because I think of a lot of clutch, strong superhero performances from the side of mates. I feel like BBL, if they're facing like Liquid, who are trying to do their whole like, let's just dive as a group of friends, or like, you know, any other team that doesn't have that X factor, it's tough. Yeah, this round, like it was insane. You're running into a Cypher cage that's like, you know, tripped as well. Like it's a one-way with a trip, and then like there's more one-ways around after that. Glyph's playing around in the smokes, and like they're just kind of like cutting off so many of your connected like two-man takes. It's crazy, and even then it's still hard. Like Glyph has to land some pretty crazy shots. It's almost every round is like that, which is crazy when you're facing BBL.
Now, Mini, you have spoken about BBL and their confidence and how they're the most confident people you've ever met. And they essentially have been rewarded for that. And there is no pushback because they have not lost a game yet. And they go through the uppers. So do you think, let's say, you know, they're starting in the playoffs. Let's say they get a really hard game, you know, a hot NRG, G2, Payrix, whoever it is, right? Like you're playing a difficult first game. If they lost that game, would you then worry for them, or would you think, because they haven't lost a game?
Yeah.
Would you be like, would you worry that they can't respond to it?
I'm not worried about their attitude, I don't think, like their confidence. I would be more worried that they didn't have reps in that point, if that makes sense. Like I think the bracket thing is going to be a bit like rough for them, because their first game is going to be a hard game and probably a style they've never had to play against before, because ultimately they've never played against anyone outside the EMEA bar some champs practice. So I think that I'm more worried on that side. I think that at this point, the way that they carry themselves as individuals and as a team, I don't think it's going to be shaken, and I don't think even the biggest stage is going to shake that. Like it just seems too ingrained into them. So yeah, I think absolutely that they could lose that first game, and they could even just lose the second game. But I think that the narrative outside of that, even if that happens, I don't think I would believe that it's like, oh, they lost the first game, therefore they're going to lose the second game, and it was just the confidence or whatever. I think that might just be the fact that it's going to be a really tough tournament, and that's just, it's going to happen sometimes, you know. I don't expect them to go 0-2 or anything from, you know, playoffs, but yeah.
It's funny you talk about them dealing
though.
with styles that people aren't used to. I mean, whoever they play is going to have to deal with a style that, you know, they're probably not that used to.
I mean, to be fair, everyone is playing pretty much the same style right now, to be honest. But there are going to be little things that every region is going to have their little takes on things, you know. So there could be something there. But honestly, yeah, like I don't think the stylistic thing is actually as big as what I'm saying, because genuinely, I mean, to be fair, like what you said, like they probably have more of their own style when it comes to this meta, but most teams are just playing the same thing, and it is, I don't know if there's a conversation about how boring it might get soon, but it is a little bit of the same for everyone, I think.
Okay, well, I mean, BBL, we'll maybe talk about them a little bit later as well. But let's talk about a team that I cannot tell you. I mean, I have nothing against FNATIC. You know, I'm perfectly happy for FNATIC. I think they're good representatives of EMEA. I you know, kind of wanted them to go, but I was rooting so hard for mates, exactly for the reason you said, Sliggy, that if they had lost and then lost again and lost again, in this fashion, it would have been brutal. It would have been so brutal. And of course, I mean, that's the thing. We didn't even bring this up in that first game against mates, but Martine almost breaks the kill record. I mean, if you count the first 3 maps of this game, he did break the best of 3 kill record, if you count that as like just 3 maps. Then he has like 2 quieter maps. Well, the maps aren't even, you know, super close in the first one. So he doesn't end up breaking the kill record. But he does break the EMEA record. Then he comes back the next day and breaks it by a mile. I mean, this is unbelievable. I mean, as a 2-day performance, let's start with Martin. This got to, what did he eat? What the hell's he been eating, Shyo?
The same thing he ate on day 1, right? Just more of it.
I mean, it's
kinda?
got to
Does
be,
that make
yeah.
sense? Yeah, like, dude, that just some of the stuff, not even like, you know, 3Ks and whatnot, or the multi-kills, some of the solo frags, like always getting value out of a Yoru ult with like a double shorty, like the things this guy is doing, it's crazy, because some of it is like very composed, like, oh, not boomer aim, but like, wow, very smart angles, very like, you know, cerebral gunfights taken, like Haven Garage, and like just open sides on the map. And then other times he's the zoomer, like Timo Duelist. Like, how are you thinking of this one niche play that just gets a kill on some of the guys who, if you give it 2 seconds to shoot you, should be shooting you in the head? Like, this guy's like, you know, you could talk about 2-way players and roles. He's like a 2-way player on the same role. He only played Yoru the entire time too, right? On mates, like didn't get him to play anything else. Like, just feels like compound interest, man. Like, this guy's bank account on Yoru is the richest in the world. Like, it's crazy. He's just money spreading on us. Like, it's wild.
You reminded me of something else as well, which is almost as unbelievable, I think, which is despite getting so many kills, 200 and whatever kills it was, he only had 2 4Ks. I mean, it was like, it was unbelievable to have got so many kills so consistently. Like, just every round, I am good for 1 or 2. Like, completely throughout the game. I mean, and he didn't get a single ace either. So he's breaking the kill record, but just every round having impact. I don't think I've ever seen anything like it. I mean, I haven't.
Is literally the question that you ask, like when you're, you know, bored watching like a foot match somewhere, because they're never really that interesting. Like it's, you know, would you rather be the guy?
About foot.
would you rather be the guy who gets a 2K every round, or like the guy who will like always like win a clutch or get ace? This is the example of the guy who can get a 2K like every single round or a kill every round. Like, we're seeing it happen in real time, and sometimes you lose a best of 5. But other times, in case in this one, you're the reason the team kind of, you know, pushes themselves across the line, man. Is insane performance from him on the day.
He's got some of the best decision making I've seen, just like in the moment. Like his Yoru ults. Obviously, they've been practicing like the Yoru ult, Astra ult since 2024 K-Cup. That was like the main thing that they actually like took, won them a lot of big rounds. So he has the experience of that, but sometimes he's just using it different sides of the Astra ult every single time. His Yoru ults are so good, like so good. I think he has the best instant decision making I've seen. And I saw a tweet today. I have no idea who did it, so I'm sorry to like steal your point, but I think you made a valid point. They're like Fortnite pros, right? And it's like a lot of building, like instant decision making. Yeah, it might have been Mel. Yeah, it might have been Mel. And it's like that. You can see that with him. Like you really can see it, where it's just like, this has happened. I've seen this person. My Yoru ult's about to end up. I've obviously got a shorty, and then you can either go in the corner, or you know that someone's going to go in the corner, so you go the other side. Then you like jump in and pre-fire the corner, or he goes on the other side where they can't get the sound, then go instantly through. Like when the Astra ult is up, I think he's got a Yoru ult. I think it is some of like back to back multiple times some of the best. Yeah, some of the best decision making. I think this is the tweet that I saw. Yeah, it's so impressive, his decision making. It's always like, there's no hesitation, and it's always like really smart. It just looks so comfy.
So looking at this, Shyo, what went wrong for you?
I mean, things are going
That's
right.
fucked up.
It's a good year right now. Things are going right. Sometimes it takes time. Sometimes, you know, like you get 11-1 on Abyss, and you got to come back to make champs a 5-mapper. It's funny. Somebody sent me a clip of like me casting over Martin, like in like a EU FNCS, and I'm like, oh, he has like a blue skin on. It's kind of foreshadowing, and like he's playing around these walls like it is in Astro. I'm like, interesting. It's kind of crazy. It's a wild too, because like a lot of the times it's like Fortnite plumber allegations, but this guy was playing against like goats inside that scene too. Like he was playing in prime time Europe. Like, it's gotten better, but man, I'm looking at some of these names, I'm like, damn, Martin was kind of fragging back then. Like, this is crazy, and now he's here too doing the same shit. It's nice.
I wish we had replays for pro games after this. Like having 2 back-to-back like record kind of level games, and having a replay to actually analyze things from his POV and see the kind of decisions he's making would, honestly, they should just release it right now and just let us just watch Martin. Like, it'd be the perfect
have that be the beta test. Here's Martin's VOD.
That's true.
He has like no consent on this, by the way. He has no say. Like, they just released the VODs. He's like, what?
Yeah. Sorry, mate.
He'd go down in history though. Like, surely he'd want it. Like, even though like people be like, he might be a bit like, oh, they might steal some stuff. It's like, bro, like, you're going down in history as like, you know, the VOD guy. You know, it would be unreal.
And it was an unreal performance. Let's talk about Mate's more generally though, because obviously it wasn't just Martin, the rest of his team were in the server and played. I mean, played two unbelievable games. Like you said, the first one was, you know, one of the best of fives, or, you know, that you'd seen. But the second one was also a banger. Like the second one was also incredibly close and tight and a lot of fun. So talk me through both games if you want, of like what impressed you most about mates outside of Martin.
I mean, I thought I thought they were done on the second one, man. I did, like when we got over towards the split, I was just like, oh, I think they got E-codes maybe on their like after they won the pistol, and I was just like, oh boy, it's so done on the third map. Dude, I think they play really well. I think Starkso. The thing is, I actually think Starkso and Glyph had like relatively lower performances from what we've seen overall to like get them to this stage. I will say that Mini is just like an absolute rock. It's insane, like the impact that he can have. But yeah, I'm just impressed, man. I feel like different pistols, they're big pistol winners at the moment as well. Like I think that's definitely something that we have to talk about. Their win rate is very, very high with pistols at the moment. Yeah, I just think Epo, I'm like most impressed with, especially as like that 1v4 rounds could destroy players. Like it really would. And he's essentially just doing, especially when he's on the Neon as well, he's just doing the fearless. I mean, he's got to make the space for Martin. Is it like we can talk about Martin as much as we want, but like there has to be someone that clears all of that space for him to be able to do a lot of that, and it is a lot of people. So I think he was like a big stand up for me after the first best of 5. I just thought it was such a good bounce back because, dude, mentally that would crush some people.
And like mentally, to think of it like this, like you've lost a gut wrenching best of 5. Next day you play against FNATIC, like the EMEA kings of all time. You start 2-0 down. You start 2-0 down, and then you reverse sweep FNATIC.
I mean, it's like poetic. Like when last year everything was about that mental game and about how bad it was, and then this year it's like one series down, and then you go into the second best of 5. You're 2-0 down, and like
2-0 down after losing OT on Corrode as well.
And
it can't get worse.
And they went like 4-2 down early on in split, and it just looked like Fnatic were going to do split things, and it was going to go 3-0 or something. Like I think that like you have to give so much credit to the leadership. Like Starzo, I think, is the obvious one here in terms of like keeping the troops rallied, and I think I said it before. Like I wrote down on my notes before this split, and I had that mates as like my dark horse team. And like one of the big things was just Starzo. Like he, I think, was underrated completely as a leader coming into this year. Like he suits the vibe completely, and this meta suits him in terms of like it's not about push and pull and doing 5-layer defaults. It's about being direct and very good, and he knows how to be direct, and also that next little layer of like doing a little fake or doing a little bit of an opener and then grouping up and going. Like he's really good at that stuff. So I think that a lot of credit goes to him, and also the coaching staff. Like Kunde is an assistant coach. He's been around in EMEA for like 5 years grinding. Like this guy does know Valorant, and like every time out he seems to be like popping off and has like lots to say, it seems. And I don't know what he's saying, but it seems like it's working quite well. And then Paco, I believe, is the head coach. I don't know too much about him, but like KC Blue last year were looking good. Like the academy team for KC, like he was doing good there. So I think there's a lot of praise. Their leadership overall has to be had, as well as obviously individuals. They have like a lot going for them right now. So yeah.
You reminded me of Stark. So there was a time when I was, I think signed for Ascend, and Ascend at that point like made a roster move, and so Starkso became the IGL for like a brief period of time. And I remember, like, you remember how Ascend, used to play bind. They used to be really good at bind. And Starkso was IGLing in this game, and they were just running it down hooker every round pretty much. And I remember feeling like, what on earth is going on? Like this guy's not an IGL. You can't do this. And so to see him now from like my first experience of Starkso IGL, and maybe the meta has come to him a little bit as well.
Yeah.
But like just to see it go well, and it was so like you saw what it mean. I think there was multiple examples. Kuala Lumpur was a good one for FURIA when they won as well. Like it really matters. Like these guys, like you could see that how much it actually meant to them in these games. And also I'll say, like, what made some of these best of 5s, I would say, so good as well was, one, the crowds in both of the FNATIC BBL and mates games. Like the crowds were amazing in EMEA, I thought, with the chants and people popping off, and the players would, I mean, it felt personal at times. Like the players were popping off at each other, and FNATIC. Like I thought it was a bit strange. I don't think I'd ever seen like Boaster like Like he was really screaming at his opponents. Like, and I thought that was quite interesting as well, because you think of Boaster dancing, but you don't think of him necessarily, telling, but like with more anger than usual. Normally he's doing it kind of, I'm Boaster, I'm that guy. But this was like, no, like, sit down then, go on, and he's trying to flex and like, do his little thing. That's the least threatening. It's the least threatening thing of all time.
Mr. Fantastic W, like, what are you talking about? This guy's like a fridge. But dude, like
That's what he does.
It's amazing because I think that came over. My headcanon for it is that like that Mates BBL game, because there's so much history between like Start So versus like ULF and like TLA and stuff from like the offseason and Ascension. First of all, glad that that's coming to Santiago, because we have a chance for like somehow,
Got
some
me
way
up again. Yeah.
Oh my god, it'd be so sick. The Mates crowd in general too, like they can take over arenas, and like it's so cool to see like another big force coming through, because like sometimes you need a Fnatic in a grand final to get that effect. You combine those two in this game, it was amazing. And then on top of all of it, I think Mates got really like angered themselves and hyped up against BBL, that like they took that energy to Fnatic in the beginning, and Fnatic are like, who the fuck are these guys? We're gonna get fucking angry, screw this. And now like it's like a war stuff type of situation going on. Well, we'll talk about it later for the TL stuff, because like the Nat speech was hilarious, but like I feel like just usually in EMEA there's a bit more like respect and haha-ness, and like things might be a bit campy, but this, like every single series was, I just felt like personal. We're trying to psychoanalyze, we're running like chemical warfare mentally, if it was a thing, if that was possible, like doing whatever you can to get the edge. It was wild.
Yeah, it's cool that we have gentle mates. Just the crowd, man. The crowds, they bring a lot of viewers for and just the storylines as well. It's just so sick to see him, man. This was the most. I think this was actually the first time in EMEA where I've been like, man, the crowd's good right now. This is nice. Like fully back and forth, just two kind of guys giving it. So I like it. My chat was missing. My chat was memeing a lot, being like, "Oh, it's times like these that make you miss Koi." I was like,
that's what I was gonna say. I was like, I bet Riot is so happy that Mates did so well. They're secretly like, phew, like you can't say anything about this decision really. Like Mates are both like on both levels. Like the quality of gameplay is very high, and then also the fact that like they got the fan base there, and like the arena feels like I think I was there for some of the games, and it was just like, even on the games the week before, I think that like the fans were there and all chanting and stuff. So it's nice to see,
It's dangerous though right now, because like online things are tense between Mates and BBL. I made like a tweet about like Mates, wow, they're like kind of the people's champs almost, because like champions are the ones that are in first place, and then the people's champs are like, oh, who are like the crowd favorite, like the ones making the best games. I didn't say BBL at all, and in the comments there's just like BBL fans like, fuck this guy, he likes Mates, BBL are the true champions, there's no way. I'm like, how are you here, first of all? Don't follow me. Plus, like, I didn't mention BBL. These guys are typing in Mates, just looking for any positive reinforcement and just coming in as a brigade, man. It's crazy.
Bro, the Turkish clip farmers are out there. Like, anytime I say anything about BBL or FUT or anyone that, like, positive or negative, immediately there's a tweet translated in Turkish with the worst photo of me ever, and then just like...
That's amazing.
If it's a good tweet, if it's a nice one, because I'm usually quite positive about the Turkish teams. I've always had a soft spot. Like like our region is better because of these players and because of this country. Like
EMEA without Turkey and Valorant would be shit.
Half the league is literally Turkish right now. Like, and so it's hard for me to not be positive. So most of the times it is a nicer picture, but sometimes I might.
God, that's so funny. I think you need to find these pictures. Find like if Mini makes a good point, you put up good Mini, and if Mini makes a point you don't like, bad Mini.
I'm mostly joking, to be honest. It's mostly good because I'm usually quite positive. So I think there's a pretty good relationship there. But I think if Shyo might have to look at it, is what I'm saying.
Yeah,
I'm already on thin ice, man. I roasted FUT. Like I already said that mainstream people's champ. If I'm not here next episode, you know why.
Okay. Well, gentle mates, let's just quickly. I know we'll talk about this, I'm sure, next week or whatever. But vibe check. First game against EDG. Where's the vibe at for mates going into that one?
You know the one where Hulk is like, that I'm always angry, and he just hits that big ass like thing that's flying in. That big ass thing is EDG, bro. Like, oh, I'm Kong flying through the air. Boom, done. Like I'm gonna say 2-0 easily. It's these guys are insane right now.
Okay.
And they've always been angry, man. You think they're I love stars though. Fortnite. I'm not gonna stream right now. I'm gonna save it, but holy shit. It's gonna go crazy.
I'm gonna out myself a little bit. Like I haven't watched China at all yet.
You don't
I'm
need
gonna
to.
do my
Yeah,
VOD
same.
You don't need
reviews.
to. Just say they're gonna Hulk smash them.
I mean, yeah, sure. But like, I was just interested where you see them lining. Like this All Gamers team, people, there's murmurs about how good they are. But EDG went through lower bracket and scraped through. Like, how good are they?
I think out of all of the third seeds, this is what you wanted, surely. Like out of all of the third
Yeah.
seeds, surely this is the best you could have got. Again, I haven't
Yeah.
watched either, but
I watched a
But
little
you could have
bit.
got Paper X, NRG, or EDG.
That's
I'll
what
take
I'm-
my chances.
yeah,
with
that's what I'm
each
sure.
other.
saying.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's like a big compositional issue happening in China right now with like rosters like DRG and just in general. Like I think people just trying to find their way, or people trying strange things and sticking to like old stuff and not really, assimilating to the same type of stuff that EMEA and America is on right now. And in those moments, like EDG is still scraping by. So I feel like against like the Astra Rim stuff on Abyss and like some more things where like you don't have as much room in post plant and like the approach that these teams are coming with, like how mates are in equivalence of being able to play against FNATIC and their slow style and BBL and like some of their faster and slower rounds. A lot of the times I feel like China relies on some of those thrifties and like tripping up the competition when it comes to how good they can be, and you're not ready for that. You might not have the best antes. I feel like as a region right now, compositionally they're behind. Mates I think are doing some amazing things. You might not be a fan of the Brim stuff with Astra. You might prefer something else, but I really like that combination. I feel like it's just from a raw game theory standpoint, there's already a gap. But the last time I said there was a gap, it was between FURIA and G2. And here we are with FURIA. And I also
mean-
said it again with MIBR and FURIA. So,
I think in terms of, that's something we didn't really. I think we picked up on it before. As like you were saying that like mates have some of the better reads. Like the fact that they play Astra as much as they do, and I think they prefer Fade over Sova in a lot of the instances. And then they have generally, like I think Euro Wele is the obvious one for most maps, and they don't do that every map, but they have the Euro and Martin. Like I think in terms of like, it's kind of hard to. Like everyone's playing double Druid, so it's hard to eke out that advantage compositionally. But I think they do eke it out. So I agree with that. I just don't think that it's going to be the narrative, unfortunately, at this tournament.
Well, I mean, we've talked about other teams like Nongshim, for instance. Like they just lean heavy on Neon. It works for them. But I think mates are like the team where the ideal perfect meta suits what they've got as well. Like that is, probably what is the strongest thing, but it also suits exactly who they've got in their team. And if you're wondering about EDG, I mean, one of the funniest maps I watched during this entire kickoff was them picking Bind into Tai Lu. Sliggy, you're gonna love their Bind comp with the Harbor Phoenix.
But the
Harbor Phoenix.
Oh man,
Is Harbor
cool
buffed
stuff.
in?
Harbor, I think,
for-
is buffed, so maybe this is their time. But they picked this map. They'd already played this map and won a game. But I watched this game and like. They played the same comp, and it didn't go well. They ended up winning this game though. So, but I just thought this game was funny. I went back and watched it.
They're just prepping, man. They knew the Harbor buff was coming in.
Yeah,
They got it down. They
smart.
I think both these teams banned the same map as well. So I'm gonna be interested to see if with the time off, if any of them just go and pick it, because it's and they both permaban.
Well, I think general mates need to prioritize. Like I think Corrode
would
is one of
prioritize Breeze.
EMEA's. I think EMEA are not very good at Corrode personally.
and yeah, you
and
can
Pearl.
and Pearl. The
I
only
think
team that
general
know how
mates,
to play
general
it.
mates are better at Pro than any other EMEA team. What I'm saying is
BBL are a bit better. I think.
okay. I've not got. I skipped that VOD because it was so long. I just
Okay.
skipped that one.
So you didn't watch any of the best of fives that mates played then? That's true.
No, I've watched Mates Best of Fives Pro. I've watched that.
Oh, they went too long for you?
I haven't
No?
finished the second one yet. Honestly,
Okay.
I wasn't on broadcast this week, so like I
just
was
chilling.
watching. I basically what I did, second monitor, Anders on. Anytime I wasn't watching long enough, I was focused too much on TFT. I'd say, Anders, give me the TLDR of the map. And he'd say, and then any take today I have is probably just Anders' take from that process.
Well,
I'm a
that's
very smart
wonderful.
person when it comes to looking smart.
efficiency. Yeah.
It's efficient game plans. You got to think about the vibes in Santiago too as well. The last thing I want to just put out in the ethos is I think I'm going to do all my preds this year on who has the shortest plane flight to Santiago. So between Mace
is good.
and EDG, who actually has the shorter plane flight? Can we get a quant on that? Is there like a quant in the business that can get
yes.
Is it because the altitude thing? Are you going
Mates.
there?
Altitude theory is another one. I mean, that's oxygen levels, and I got to do some human body study on like blood glucose and whatnot. But damn, bro.
I was trying to explain it to someone said it in my chat, like, is altitude going to be an issue? Like, genuinely asking my opinion, like as if it was a serious thing. And I laughed, but then I was like, there is this thing in UFC where like this fighter called Cain Velasquez, who he basically would win every fight, but he lost a fight in high altitude. And then people started calling him sea level Kane because every time he fought on sea level, he would just bang everyone out. And so I do like the idea at this event there might be someone who just can't adjust the altitude, and we got like people just space it out.
How high is Santiago? Because I know in football in Bolivia, when they play in like the Bolivian national team stadium is like fucking up there, and it's like really high altitude. I don't know what Santiago is, but like. Maybe Masters La Paz is gonna fucking pop off.
It's a game 4. People are like, just completely just air pressure. Is it air pressure poisoning? I don't even know what it is, but that'd be crazy. It's a thing to consider, though. You never know.
Okay.
Rising desks, maybe. EDG are like lower, and then like mates are playing on a higher desk. Like
they're like leaning back in their chair, like. Trying to get as low as they can. Anyway, let's move on from mates. Let's talk about FNATIC. But we're gonna talk about FNATIC before we get to Liquid, so we're gonna be on a bit of a downer here for a second. Mini, I always go to you first whenever we talk about FNATIC, so I'm gonna stick with that plan and talk about FNATIC, who lost a very close game as we saw to mates just there. And then lost a 3-0. And I think most people would have said, hey, it's FNATIC. They're not gonna suffer from, the problems that other teams have had with playing back-to-back best of 5s, that they're experienced, all that. And then they lose 3-0 to Liquid. So what went so wrong for them?
I think so. Yeah, I'm not sure in terms of like the Gentlemates game, like exactly. Again, like I didn't VOD review this one. It wasn't like a deep one. But like the lower bracket one, I'm not as surprised by in a weird way. Like I do think that for some reason, when I think about FNATIC in terms of endurance, I always think that because they put so much hard work in, I feel like they're more susceptible. And because the expectations are so high, they are naturally more susceptible to this kind of thing. I think it's better to be the team that isn't expected, or better to be the team that doesn't actually put in as much work and just turns up on the day and just shoots. And like, to be honest, like I have more to say about that lower bracket game where like Liquid basically play some new stuff and they're going to go aggressive, and FNATIC just looked like they didn't handle some basic aggression. And that's probably the perfect time to pack in that kind of strategy when it comes from Liquid, because it's like FNATIC probably weren't on it in terms of like the discipline, the kind of like, they're a bit tired, They wouldn't do well at Santiago with that altitude, is what I'm saying. Like, it's fine. So yeah, I feel kind of like, is vilified the right word? Justified in like some of my analysis on desk, where it's like, okay, FNATIC are winning games, but I still want to see Alpha on other stuff. I know he still had good games. I'm gonna still stick to my guns that I still think they're not playing the stuff that would be, optimal. I think Alpha at this point is like, I was saying it on stream the other day, where it's like, when Chamber meta happened, I went to Dirk. I was like, look, you've carried the fuck out of us for the past year and a half. Like, you get to choose. You tell me what you think is best. Like, you play Chamber or Raze. What do you want to do? And he said he want to play Chamber. I think at this point for Alpha, it's kind of the same. Just like he's kind of deserves, I think, at this point, like Kron's left. Like, you've got Alpha left as the longest standing member who's carried you for the last 4 years or 3 years or whatever. I think I would ask him like what he wants to do.
I think as well, when people are coming up with game plans where they're purposely dodging you, like at least if you're going to do that, you can at least go aggro, take a lot of space so that your other side can be maybe a little bit stronger than it was, even though a lot of the times when I watched Liquid, they were just hitting the 3-person site anyway. But I think like having him as a chamberman, so that he can just hold one spot, and then you can have like basically 4 over towards a strong site. So I do agree. I think comps wise, they were a little, they did pivot a little bit from the double duelist, like as in like from the single duelist to a double duelist. Like they started getting there, but I don't think they did the full pivot. And I think, I kind of agree it cost them. I'm not super sold on the Vice, and I just think after this first map they were just so tilted. Like I don't know how Alpha wouldn't be tilted. I don't know too much about him, but at least from the cams that I saw, playing a defense half where you have to retake 8 rounds in a row.
1v3, yeah.
Like what are you meant to do?
There's a good example of this. I think it's round 29 on Abyss. So
20.
this is a map again.
Jesus Christ.
This is when Alpha is already dropping 30 or whatever. And if you can get that round up to just show, because again, Liquid this whole game basically did just go, we're going to let anyone else beat us, but not him. And if you just show the map, so you can see that, like, they haven't exec'd his site in the first couple seconds. Look, he's already fully rotating straight away. Like, straight away. And then if you show the actual game now, Kurt, he just runs all the way and gets a couple kills.
Oh
he was
my
just so
God.
fed up
No,
of,
yeah,
like,
he was pissed.
like he literally just instantly, here's my setup on B. I know they're not going B. I'm running all the way across the other map straight away as soon as I haven't heard noise in the first second. It was unbelievable how, like, pissed off he was getting. There's actually a moment, if you go back to the start of the round, Kurt, and show the map, there's a moment where, like, they're a little unsure of, like, exactly what's going on. And I think it's Kayak starts rotating back to mid, and Alpha's already fully pushing B. Like, he's already fully going B, even though, like, clearly the team as a whole doesn't know what's fully going. So he's going back to spawn there. Kayak runs. Oh no, they are going to be. Alpha's already halfway there. He's already made the choice. I mean, it's just like he was clearly so annoyed, and you would be annoyed because he was constantly in 1v4s, 1v3s if they were losing a round.
Why didn't they just throw like, okay, I'm going strategy, which is probably
Yeah.
not as important, but
No,
why
no,
didn't
I
they just
was
throw
gonna bring up-
thorns on both sides?
Yeah. I know, I can't believe they don't do that. They don't do that on this map or Walker Road. It doesn't really make sense.
The Alpha
then-
setup, it was always on B apart from the pistol in this game.
Yeah, and on the Corrode, I think the same
And Corrode,
the
yeah.
same questions can be asked on both of the Vice maps. It's just like,
Yeah.
first of all, where's the timeout to change anything, and second of all, why do we not just have a protocol where, dude, the most effective Vice setups before the nerf was having thorns on either side anyway. We probably should have that, or at least have some rounds where we throw that. So it feels so weird, but I mean, it was nicely done from Liquid. But yeah, I just felt like there's no adaptions here. And I just felt like when I was watching FNATIC, everyone's just tilted.
Yeah, it did feel like that, didn't it? Because from the start of the game, like, you know, Liquid were just like, we're playing an aggressive comp and we're just gonna run at you. And normally you would think like FNATIC and their style would be able to, you know, counter that pretty easily, but they couldn't for whatever reason. And then from the rest of the game, it was like, yeah, just a little sloppy from their side, I suppose. And I think this was a big surprise. You know, this was, I think, I don't know what the percentage would have been, but had we been predicting this game on Plat Chat, I reckon it might have been a guarantee. Maybe Minnie, you had some doubts, but
No, I definitely would have guaranteed this. Like, I think I was very low on Liquid, honestly. Like, I think that they almost lost to Ulf to start their run. So
God,
like,
yeah,
I
I
wasn't
mean-
like, I don't know. Like, I think that the Neon, like, I think it sums it up really that they swapped. I know this is more Team Liquid, but they swapped their comps and never practiced with it and can beat you is like a worrying sign. Honestly, like, I know we've been really positive so far, but like, there is a little bit of worries for me about EMEA if like that's the kind of caliber it's at, where like we could
Bro,
just swap
I'm
comps and win. You know, like,
I'm so worried for EMEA. They're not good at like 2 maps.
yeah.
Going they're not good
Yep.
at 2
yeah,
maps.
but
going-
that gets
going
counteracted by
international.
one Nat's speech. As long as
Yeah,
Nat
that's true,
talks, what EMEA need is they just need to bring Nats in for mates and BBL before their games. And just get him to say whatever he's gonna say, and apparently you'll just pop off. It
Well-
doesn't matter. You don't need practice.
There's also, I mean, I'll ask all of you a question. Minnie, when it comes to these, you know, agents that are in these comps at the moment, Neon, Waylay, Yoru, would you say they have a lot of projectiles, like Brim as well, Sky?
Projectiles.
Like projectile based
I know where he's
abilities.
going with this. Just
Like,
say
right?
yes.
Yes or no? Yes or no? So yes or no
I gotta.
question.
Am I saying yes? Is that the answer?
Yeah, just say
Is
yes.
that what
I
you
think
want
so,
from
yeah.
me?
Yes.
TMV, you just pointed out with that mini map that Alpha really wanted to hit those rotates that they're avoiding him. Would you say rotating fast is really important in this meta? Like if you're a Sentinel player?
Get on with your spiel. I'm not entertaining this.
And
Get on with
honestly,
it.
at the very last thing,
Fast forward the
Alpha here,
VOD 3
we mentioned
minutes
the
if you're
Turkish
watching.
teams and the Turkish players. They love aiming a lot, and sometimes even if Alpha makes it onto a site, there's flashes, mollies, Armageddons, annihilations. Man, is that a problem for someone that wants to aim, Sliggy?
Yeah, it could be.
Well, here's an agent veto, man. Just play the veto, have the setup. Don't think you have to tilt yourself putting your thorns down anyways. You know why he's not lining up thorns cross map? Because he has to look in the sky and look at God and ask why. Why am I in this situation? 7 rounds in a row retake. What is going on? Forget that. Throw the interceptor up. Put the trip down. TP cross the map. Let your team play with it. They're avoiding you. Can't avoid these cross cuts. Can't avoid this fade I'm about to give you on this next site when I'm there before you hit it. Just play the veto. We were all talking about it when this agent came out. Kron's gonna be the best veto. Wait, who's the other guy on FNATIC? Oh yeah, Alpha. He could also play veto if he wanted to. Well, now there's only Alpha. rock the veto, man. Like I feel like you'd be so good on it in situations for this as well.
But
I'm gonna hot take and disagree. I think that playing Vice there is better. The Thorns Cross map is a better your argument I think is on the TPs. There's a lot of value. I'd prefer the Vice Thorns the other side of the map. The way that most people are playing Veto right now is extremely bunkered, and I think that we're starting to see last week the way that Paper Rex, G2, and then a little bit Vitality, but we'll get to them later hopefully because
specific on Bind as well.
They play aggressively. They play the interceptor aggressively. This passive interceptor usage, I would just rather play Vita Vice at that point. I'd rather just have the wall, have the flash, and have the thorns. I think Vita's just been playing very poorly. But this last week, just honestly, like, hopefully you get to see it with Vitality because they do it good, but also do it the worst possible at the same time. Because you can't play aggressive by yourself basically. But I think the solution is just
Duelist.
Alpha Duelist or Alpha.
I would just go Alpha Chamber, I think, for sure. I do think if they had done the veto, it would have just looked like how they played the Vice, all just on one side. Like, oh, this is how you play a Sentinel. Like, I wouldn't have.
They would have the passive
free man veto, free man reactive, Talon winning in the middle of spawn and in bind to see what site's getting hit. TP to that site veto, which is very malleable, which has its own problems. I've got some weird ass fucking head fantasy of veto just being anywhere on the map possible, and Alpha you're running it. All I wanted to mention.
Shyo has done this. Happened to Bren with Vice as well when Vice came out, where he just spams it in ranked a bunch, learns all the good setups, and then watches pro games where they don't do those setups, and then gets annoyed that they're playing their agent badly. I've
honestly got a shot at Bren because Bren had a better read on Vice than almost any pro team did for the first 6 months. Like in that first chat with Vice, I said to Bren, I was like, Bren, look, like what are you seeing? How are you seeing? He's like. I asked him, I was like, are you seeing like extremity control and like deeper walls and stuff? He's like, yeah, absolutely. You need to put the walls more. You don't put it on the site as much. You put it aggressively. It wasn't until G2 and Anders were like doing aggressive Vice walls, like how Vito is now doing aggressive stuff a little bit. Like that is how, But honestly, Vito, I think Vice has more bunkered capabilities than, in my opinion.
Man, but I still have yet to see a team put an interceptor on one site and ult on the other. And have that like with a double op setup or just a judge op setup where it's unbreakable. Like how do you even approach that? I mean, there's so many defensive. Anyways, complete tangent. TMV.
Let's get back on track. Let's talk about Team Liquid. Sliggy's wearing the shirt. He's feeling good. Somehow they've managed to do it again. Somehow, some way. We again just thought there's no fucking way they're gonna do anything here. I remember it might have been last episode, might have been the episode before. It was like the early lower rounds, and Kurt asked the question like, "Oh, which of these lower teams is gonna go on a run?" And we were like, "All these fucking lower teams in the EMEA dog shit. No one's gonna do fucking shit." And then Liquid, here they are. They do go on a run. And they managed to make it all the way to Masters Santiago. Sliggy, you work for Team Liquid. When did you actually start to believe that they would actually do this?
When I started believing in the FNATIC game. So it took me a while.
When did you pick the trophy?
It took me a while. No.
When before Nats learned like this.
I started having belief, but then my main thing was against FNATIC. I'd seen the maps, and I was like, well, they're going to lose. First of all, their Pearl's really bad. They're gonna lose Pearl if it's there. They're gonna lose Corrode, and then I thought their Abyss. Obviously, they got it a little bit better, but I kind of thought they were gonna lose that as well. But as soon as I saw the change of comp on Corrode, I started believing. So I did start believing at the beginning of the best of 5. If it makes you feel any better. So because I would have given them a 10% if they'd done their normal comp. But as soon as I saw the change up of a comp, I was like, oh, okay. Especially as a Sage, like first time going against it, you can like switch it up so much, and then you just have Sage on one side, delay Brim on the other. Like it's like pretty. You can see a theory just with the actual comp itself. And then when you started to watch them on attack, I was just like, oh shit, they're cooking. They're actually cooking. Like they've really gone for it. And I think this is just another backup that Nats and the coaches as like a core, as like a 3 core, and obviously Camo's in there as well. Just so strong, dude. Like they're so strong. Like proven different teams, different metas. Like these two coaches and that's IGLing as well is just for sure proven up there with the best. Look at what they're doing. They won 2 maps here, and at the end of it, they're saying that they had no practice, just pure theory on the 2 maps that they thought they were like. They realized, like I thought, that they were going to lose, and they just do new theory, and the whole team's believing just in the new theory, not even playing a prac. That's like, I think that's unheard of. I really do. I think this is like a generational game. I think this is one of the most fun best of 5s I've ever watched from like a nerd POV. And it's crazy that it's a 3-0. And this first map was just the sickest to watch. I think this first map is so sick to watch. It's such an underrated map. It really is, because it's like coach individuals and theory. That's it. That's all it is. It's just like pure prep of it. And the game plan is just so good, and it's executed so well.
I hope going forward that they continue to abuse the way they neon, but then round out the compositions to be like, I think that the Sage was like, the amount of gimmick value they got was really high and really good. And like, obviously this game plan of just rushing defense and just catching a team off guard isn't going to fully work at Santiago. So I hope that they kind of round it out now to, we see the Whaley and the neon for them is like really strong. It makes perfect sense. Now let's like round it out. In the back pocket, if we get a map at Santiago that sucks, we go gimmick again and do something that's because like absolutely, like the Sage Wall, I think it was Sage Wall like on round, I don't remember what round, was it Pistol? Where like they just Sage Walled on
Aggro
A
B.
main.
Yeah,
A main, I think.
Oh yeah, so yeah, aggro A over the top to see.
Yeah, and they just immediately got a pick. It was like, okay, well they're cooking already. They've already got the value from Sage on a pistol round, like, and the wall was good itself, but then you get the kill, like So I have to echo though, absolutely, like the coaching stuff. Like I was really trying to set the standards on the desk that like I don't expect this Team Liquid team to be as good as last year. Like, and I remember talking to Tom about it. Tom was like, "Yeah, but isn't that what we say about Liquid every year?" It's like, yeah, but I think it's like I have to be real. Like I think that if they do this, like we have to give them the credit that they've done it with a more difficult roster to do it with, in my opinion. Like I think that last year they had more vocal players and probably players with higher ceilings, in terms of like Trex and Kiko. I mean, Kiko, for fuck's sake. Like, and yeah, they've done it again. They've qualified to a global. This time around, it's probably going to be the least expectations in terms of doing well at that global. And I know that historically their global events haven't been amazing, but I think this time around,
1 and 2, we will be there.
I think it's like it's tough because like obviously they're going to have that in the back of their heads, I guess. But like, I don't think they're expected to do what the other team was expected to do. Like they didn't win this. They kind of cruised the lower bracket 5 games. Like they're kind of they should just be having fun at Santiago and seeing how far they can go, kind of thing.
Yeah, I can get on board with it.
I feel like when every team is playing the same, system and composition at the moment, like, or not system, but at least these comms with the dive, like it's pretty easy to latch onto and having that type of fun. And the biggest difference I think on this stage in Santiago will be, I think, teams' mentals more importantly than like the crazy amount of prep. I feel like just in the way the meta is at the moment, unless there's like some crazy harbor tech and there's some stuff we don't know about, some agent compositions or
Gecko
combinations.
buff.
Oh yeah, dude, the Gecko Molly thing is crazy, by the way. Like the fact that you just start with a lineup, have a second Molly available, and maybe just even a third because it's a 20-second cooldown. Like, what? Voss?
It's not going to be available for Santiago, is it?
I don't know.
No,
The harbor one should be.
The harbor will, but
Okay,
not,
okay.
Not sure they
Gecko.
can go though.
Yeah,
Because that would get messy.
Yeah,
that would get messy. Yeah.
That Nat speech, like if you guys have seen the Key and Peele sketch of like
so
the two, you mentioned the UFC, the weight, the air thing, right? But there's another one where they're like, the pre-press conferences. There's like one guy who was like, I'm gonna knock him out round 1. It's gonna be a fast fight. You go to the next guy. God has chosen me for this fight. My body is the instrument and my enemy is the canvas. It's like posters like, guys, we got this. And Nats is like, I want his last 5 years of Valorant to be questioned. I want this guy to go to sleep today thinking, why do I choose to do what I do during the day? And Wayne's like, okay.
Do you want to listen to it? I have it here.
Yeah,
Let's get up
it.
in that speech.
The only thing I want from us for this game, I was watching the game yesterday, and every time they struggle, I see the poster face nothing fully cooked. I want to see today even worse. I want to see how we nothing run them down, and this guy thinks why he plays Valorant. I want to see his face, so nothing he thinks that I don't even know why I started that. Let him nothing forget about 5 years he played the game, so he will remember that day, okay?
I was talking to Team Liquid's old manager about it because I remember watching, and I remember talking to him and I'm being like, the only way you can make that speech, I think, is if you've been in that position. Like Nats can only do that speech because he's been there. Like I've been there too, where you're like, why the fuck do I even do this at all? And you know that feeling where you just feel completely nihilistic about what you're doing completely.
Yeah.
And so like it's kind of nice, like it's the poetic thing for me is that like it's come from someone who's been in that place and thought those things and able to grasp onto it and use that against like his opponent. And so like I think that detail is like really nice to see, because like I also think it's just the best one he's done by far. Like I think usually his speeches, like he's trying and he's like trying to get there, and like sometimes I'm like but like I think like that's like perfect. Like the content of that one was like, if he can keep getting that level of content for them, then they'll just fucking win every game. Like that's just sick,
Nah,
man.
he does. It's awesome how he like, dude. There was like later on he had like a 1v1 or something, or he killed Bolster, and he's like, ah, I'm not gonna face you, or I'm not gonna let what happened on Fracture happen again. And I was like, bro, I was like, Fracture's been in the map pool for ages, like a year ago.
No, it's like, this is what
holding a grudge from a year ago.
Eamon was saying is that it became a meme in the team that they would meme on him for losing the 1v1 against Bolster.
Okay, yeah,
And so
yeah.
it's like almost like it's become a thing, you know?
Wow.
That's crazy. But just to like add on to all of this, yeah, is this the Sky all round? Dude, look at this. So EG 2023 used to have a protocol with Sky. You go over towards middle, over towards Lotus, and you would follow the one because that's the weak site. They're avoiding Alpha so much. Double Seeker goes over towards the strong site, and they're like, "Yep, here we go. We know where Bolster is. We're going for him." And it was just so funny that every single time they just go in for the weak site. Going for the strong side even, and they're just hunting him down.
No, it is the weak side because Alpha wasn't there.
I mean, yeah, that's essentially their theory. So I just thought this was like the best round to just kind of showcase it, just following the double one and being like, we know where he is. Let's go for him. And just dodging Alpha for just 7 rounds in a row is insane. And again, just I don't know, Minnie, you've come from a team. Would you ever feel confident enough to change your comp on a map and just play it without any practice, just pure theory? Would you have a team that would
not in the
that?
lower bracket final?
Yeah.
Not. I'd have to be so confident that we're so shit that like
yeah.
Like it would be the other way around. It wouldn't be that like, oh yeah, I'm confident the boys can do this. Yeah, we're way Neon. It's gonna be great. It's gonna be no, we're so bad.
It's our only chance.
Yeah, this is our only way to win them in the map.
Yeah, pretty much.
But
So,
it was so sick. And then someone else want to speak about the Abyss stuff, because overtime in Abyss was just the sickest thing ever as well, man. They're just so confident, bro. Like the Nats outlaw.
Yes,
Holy
dude.
Dudes.
I think like I saw it happen. I'm like, why does Nats even have an outlaw? And then clicking the mental cause going in that, oh yeah, op can't have armor, and then like instantly swings in that moment. One shot to the, I think it was a double headshot, so like he kills the op guy anyways.
Body shot into headshot.
Body shot and headshot, and then he gets the second, and then TMV's arguing with me over the fact that he's like,
I'm not arguing.
He needs to see the bad in every situation. He could have done that with a Marshall too and had a rifle later. I'm like, no. First of all, no, he couldn't have. Like, you don't get the second shot off fast enough.
I wasn't arguing in this situation. This was fucking crazy. I was just bringing up. No. It's just because
like,
no.
Too,
The tech, the anti-op tech in OT, buy a rifle, lights, and a Marshall, and you kill the opera, and then just go pick up your rifle on the other side.
To be negative, because I was watching Anders stream, and Anders could be very critical but smart. Was it worth buying the outlaw over buying an op?
I mean, just in case they're gonna peek you.
Well, like 4 of the players he's gonna shoot probably should be headshot outlaw. You're not expecting.
But that's how confident he is the op's over towards middle.
Well,
like if you know where the op is, I think it's better to buy an outlaw.
And the outlaw wins against the op because it scopes faster and moves faster per game rules. Boom.
Thank you,
oh my god.
Shyo's got the learned this during that moment.
I learned it. I'm like, I swear to God, this gun feels like it's faster all the time when I use it. That's like, yeah, that's how it fucking works.
That's what I was thinking, was maybe it was because of the like I will concede on that ground. I was like, doesn't it feel nicer to buy the outlaw in that situation? But yeah, so yeah. Yeah, Anders could be mean on the stream, and I'll be nice on Plat chat.
The double caveat too is that like, say things go wrong and like he misses or no one's mid, by the time he gets to sight again, like there's probably a gun for him to pick up, and he has full armor if there's like enough time bought.
Bro, it's a good gun in Byron's. And give a fuck. It puts people down to 10 HP. The chances someone's taking some chip damage at one point if you're late there is high. It's so good, dude. I'm seeing people have good value from it in Byron's. I really am. I think it's broken gun. But this was just also insanely ballsy to do it. Like, this is insane.
I think it's the headshot. Like the headshot is like ludicrous.
Yeah, no, it's insane. You can't get a better clip to warrant it.
No,
like you really can't.
This team going into Santiago, though, like mental wise, it's gonna be sick. Cause like if you're ever put in this type of situation again, where like, you know, you're facing like impossible odds, if you're at home to, like, to relate to it, like to be able to get like rookies on the roster, people who are like in the situation in grand finals onto the same boat and having fun, it's like when you're facing that Smurf in ranked or like a cheater, and like you're trying to make everyone focus on just the one objective, which is in this case it's tilt boaster. In you know, in Santiago, he'd just be like, I want Kong to die every round, like if they're up against EDG, or like I don't want G2 to be able to rush a single moment. Let's just stack on the site and have fun. Like the way Nats can just bolster everybody, like to just a single idea, is really, really cool. And I feel like that is something that'll help out a lot of these guys who might just be overcritical on their own gameplay, or like coming in with completely new feelings, to ignore them and focus on something really good that everybody can be on the same page for.
I think also they benefited so much going through the lower bracket and just like having the losses, because then they're kind of, especially where, like if you think of where Liquid started off at the beginning of this, they were playing like Purpo Duelist and Camo Initiator as well for a lot of this as well. So they managed to really pivot it, and I think like they, don't know if it's stumbled across, but they at least kind of worked out that like Mini Boo Neon is insane at the moment. Again, if you have a guy that's impossible to dodge, he's essentially your initiator, getting you past corners in op meta, like kind of distilling the Nongshim stuff. And I think, dude, I personally think Papa looks way comfier on initiator, especially the Sky. I'm not a massive Sky fan at the moment, but I'm watching him on Sky being like, guy's pretty good at, feels comfy on Sky. Like I think they pretty much worked out their identity, like with all the games that kind of works for them.
Yeah, absolutely. But Team Liquid did have to beat some teams. Kurt, you've put in here about Vitality. We will get to Vitality. I do just want to quickly as well, though. Did we talk about Team Heretics last week? Was that last week or was that the week before?
Say we didn't. Say we didn't. Say we didn't.
We didn't. We didn't.
Week? Did we?
That was
We didn't
this
talk
week.
about- No, that was
this
the
week
Thursday
as well.
game. That was the
Holy.
Thursday game. Yes, so we should
Stacked
talk
week,
about Team
man.
Heretics quickly.
It's a stacked week.
We should talk about Team Heretics quickly, because they went out with a bit of a whimper here. It must be said. They played on Abyss, which Team Liquid picked, and it was fairly close. And then on their map pick of Bind, I mean, they learned firsthand, do not cross nets on Bind, which then others also found out. What do we feel about Team Heretics, Mini?
Like the last time I said on Plat, I have no idea how to analyze this team anymore. Anytime we think they're good, they're bad, and every time we think they're bad, they're good. They had a really, really good game against Na'Vi in which they stomped, and so they look good, and therefore we were going to be like, yeah, they're going to be good, and then they go into the next game and they're not very good. I really like. Genuinely, they're the hardest team for me to analyze. I don't know what to say about them anymore. I don't know. I need help. Honestly, I need help. In multiple ways, I need help, but here I need help because I don't know what should they do? I don't know. Like, I feel like at this point, it's like I don't care what they do going forward. I don't care what's going wrong. It's like they just need to win, and like I don't. It's like one of those situations, and I don't know what the answers are. I don't think that Boo is particularly comfortable IGLing this meta at the moment, and that's probably what the only thing I remember saying.
Nerfed. That's what they need.
Ray Yoru gets nerfed. I mean, they could do Neon Waylay though. That's like the new. Like I think that's just as good as the Yoru stuff right now. Like, and they can do that with this team. Like, come back and just play Neon. It's not that big a deal. Maybe he's being misused. Maybe I'm talking myself into the idea that Comeback's being misused in that way. Yeah, it doesn't feel like they've fully solved how to play double duelist comfortably. In terms of both like individual comfort and overall comfort, in terms of, I think there's this thing that I'm thinking about a lot right now, which is like individual comfort's one thing, but I think people really miss this idea that the team comfort, and mostly that comes from like the coaching staff and the IGL, is very important. Like, styles evolve mostly, hopefully, from them and not so much the player comfort. But if you got Danby on your team, then you're going to run Neon, like no doubt about it. But it's like a mixture of those things. I think Heretics are struggling on both of those fronts a little bit right now in terms of being historically a double info kind of team that is coming to a meta that doesn't allow for that. They have played some of the double duelists last year, but I wasn't like super on board with like everything they were doing. And now it feels like everyone's playing high pace, high aggression. They figured out their little things, and I don't know, maybe they haven't. So whilst I'm saying this after saying I don't know how to talk about them. So it's like I obviously have a lot that I'm thinking about them, but I just don't know if that's true. Is anything I'm saying they're true? I don't know. Like, I really don't know anymore.
Yeah, it's hard because even if I was on the team, I'm trying to work out what I would do. I think I would probably just go comeback perma knee on, especially
Then what
after
about
watching
Woot?
what's
Like
happening.
what is going on with Woot? Is Woot even like?
I mean,
Is
I would.
he how in the server is he? Where like okay? What are our expectations for Heretics going forward? What are our expectations for the individuals? Like, do we think this team are these 5 players good enough to make deep runs globally? Are we still at that level?
Yeah, they're good enough, but they don't look. I wouldn't say I have any worry about their skill personally.
They're just flaming their mother.
You as well.
Honestly, my take with these guys now is I want to see them having fun again. Fuck the wins, fuck the losses, like, and honestly, fuck the game theory for me, because if I start to get into it, like, I want to not see Gecko anymore on Rien's on Bind at least.
Gecko just got buffed. He's good now.
I don't care about the buff still. Like, I swear to God, fuck this agent. But like, I just want to see the team happy and more confident. Kind of like, again, like this whole not speech thing, like just working towards a similar goal and being on the same page and having a good day consistently. Even in loss, like at least having a good time with some good ideas on certain rounds consistently. I think one of the best things I saw from this team was Gen.G with like against KC in the Navi game with some like reinvigorated craziness, man. Did he pop not a Zanny? I guess he popped something pre-game where like he's just screaming and Rien's just like, who the fuck is this guy? Like, the whole team's like, Gen.G, what is going on?
I think that's been I've been a bit critical of Gen.G recently, but I think that has been one of the areas in which he has improved on, and it wasn't just this year. So like to me though, if we just say it's about having fun, I think that they're already in that place where they are better than they used to be. The only difference is they're not winning anymore. So it's a lot harder to do that when you're losing. Like
let it happen. Let it happen.
But they are. They look like they are in a lot of the games where they're losing. They're still Gen.G's still doing his thing, and they're still doing it. Like I don't think they're any more demotivated when they're losing than any other team. And if anything, they look probably slightly happier. I think. So I don't think there is that. I think that there has to be something game related.
Yeah. I mean, yeah.
Okay.
That's where I can run.
Okay.
But do you feel like they're not going to bounce back? Sorry to keep going on this.
No.
But you like confident that they're going to be fine? Like they got 5 weeks until they play Mini. You actually like worried? Yeah, I'm worried.
I don't know, bro. I don't know. I don't know what to say. Like this team,
they are a difficult team to figure out because
you had the solution though. You had the solution. Your immediate first preamble was every time we say they're going to do
they're
bad,
awful. Yeah, they're going to do
they're
horrible.
garbage. They're not going to do
they
shit.
Are
They're
so
going to go
trash.
05.
Like they're like 10th in the league now, 11th maybe. That's where we're at. They're just awful. They are really bad. Clip this, ship it, and then
translated
we'll see what happens.
Turkish. Translated to Turkish and ship it.
Yeah, do that. Get one of those bad photos of me now. That's the Turkish. I don't think they care about Heretics as much though, despite the Turkish. They're so org related, so we need a different org for this to work.
Hold on. BBL. Heretics, your ass. There we go. Now we'll get clipped.
I will shoot Heretics a little bit of bail. They came up against a Liquid who had changed on 2 maps. So it's like, I think it looks worse than it is. But I still think the whole identity crisis is there, where they're changing everything up and trying to see what sticks.
But I don't, it's not this game though, is it? It's like, it's the whole bracket. It's the whole.
Oh yeah, I mean they're changing all the time.
Even last year, like I don't even know. Like last year, were we too like expecting too much for them? I know Minibu put the tweet.
I mean, last year they were coming off finished second in 2 back-to-back internationals. I think last year we were all expecting the world because they were literally one of the best teams in the world. This year it's more of a question.
Was last year a successful year?
Yes.
But, well, it depends. I think it depends if you count EWC.
Well, even if you don't count it,
I think as a team you would say yes because you would class EWC as big.
Yeah,
it's a lot of money.
If you count that, then yeah, it was a success.
Sure, but I feel like the timeline on that tournament is mental.
Oh,
well,
trust me.
Let's not get into that. Right, let's move on. Let's move on from Heretics. We gave them too much time here for how they played. Let's talk about Team Vitality, who, given how they played, maybe we shouldn't give too much time to them either. Vinny, you wanted to pop up about Vitality?
Yeah, there's a round I want to pick up on right away.
Give you the floor.
Like, so I've been very praising this idea of this new, like, I think Anders, again, like, I give him credit, like, he's very publicly and openly talking about Vito being, like, this agent where interceptors should be used more aggressively. Teams aren't doing it very well. He has a very nice video about it. And then we see some teams doing it. And Vitality started doing it in this game. And I was like, but wait, you can't do it with Chronicle solo A main push. This is their game plan against FNATIC. the first 2 rounds. You can't even see it there because
Yeah,
he's
there's
cut off on the
cut off
right,
on
but
the- on the-
he's got an
yeah.
interceptor in front of him and he's playing with it, and he can't do anything with it.
I mean,
Like, I'm not being funny. Like, the whole idea with the aggressive interceptor is to have people to play around it and you kind of fight off of each other with it. He's playing it like a chamber, but he doesn't have instant access to TP. He can't even activate the interceptor with shooting his gun.
Is
So
he?
I'm like,
is the
honestly,
fi-
for a team in which I really like, I'm high on how good their coaching staff is. I was a bit like, bro, this is the game plan. Is like this. Like, I wouldn't do this in ranked. Like, I know I'm dead. Like, I don't really get it. So I stopped watching after the first 2 rounds, and I just didn't bother watching because I was like, well, they've lost. They've lost. Like, I'm not being mean. They lost. Like, that was it. They picked that map, I think, right?
Yes, I think they did pick that map.
Vitality pick. Oh
No,
Who's
this was against FNATIC.
no,
Fnatic,
yeah, that's
yeah.
Fnatic game.
I'm sorry.
Vitality
We're
pick
scrambling.
Abyss.
That's
Vitality
how they
pick
picked it.
Abyss. They go down
Yeah.
9-3.
That they
first
picked.
half.
That was their strongest map, and the game plan on their strongest map I thought was pretty bad. The interesting thing after the game was Scott took responsibility for some of the game plans being bad, and then Kron also tweeted out, which was a bit like, oh god, like he was like, yeah, we lost because our game plans were bad, and I was just like, I think he might be referring to the fact that he had to play solo A main with a veto and not being able to do anything.
But his reaction could be better then, no? Shouldn't you be playing closer to the edge? You drop off, take your TP.
Sure, you could
Yeah.
do that, but also
Oh, I mean,
Holy
like-
blind though.
I
when
agree.
he-
Does he
I
think
agree.
it's like a
Yeah,
bit
but that
mental?
should be your reaction. You get blind, you fall off your TP up. Like that's why you play a veto.
Can he
surely.
TP if he's blind? Because you have to look
Yes,
at
he
it.
can.
I
Yeah,
still
he's-
I
that's
still
easy.
think in that moment it's going to be high, like a good team swinging you, so it's going to be pretty close. And to do it solo with an like it feels very
Oh no,
strange.
it's dumb. Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
not saying it's smart. I'm just saying that you can play it better if you.
So to me, like
play the
half of
dominance
this is interesting because we're seeing a meta develop, but it's like not a good example of it. But it's like you can see the thinking about the interceptor kind of developing a little bit, which is kind of cool. But at the same time, it was just like, oh wait, that's not quite it.
Yeah,
Hmm.
I think for me, like passing on the bigger scale, I think some of the comps are a little weird, and it's probably because they're trying to give Unfake some comfort, and it will make more sense when Sayonara comes back in. It's like the main hope
Yeah.
thing. I do.
Sayonara-
Do we still feel good about Vitality for stage
Yeah,
1?
because of that.
Because Sayonara?
Yeah, and especially when I look at Breeze, and I don't want to put a lot of it on one player, but I did feel like Unfake really had a rough one on Breeze against against Liquid. So I do feel like once the roles make more sense and Yempi can go back to what he's actually normally playing, and then you get Sayonara in, I think it will make and look a lot better. I'm not like crazy worried for them here because it's a stand-in, but it's not like a 1-for-1 standing. It's a 1-for-1 plus roles.
All swaps, yeah.
I'm a little worried because I think Sayo, it would have been great to have Sayo for kickoff. I think the whole Sayonara thing has been a little bit of a mistake for Vitality.
But you think it's
Like,
gonna have too much pressure?
I think that I'm a bit worried in the same respect. I've seen Comeback do this, where like I thought Comeback was the next thing, and then he kind of was okay, and we haven't seen him at that level. And I think the same for Sayo. It's like we thought he might be that next thing, and every time he has played in tier 1, like in even off-season stuff, it was a bit like, okay, he's all right, but it's not like he's literally going to carry the team right now. Is the way I see it. And so like a kickoff for him would have been nice to kind of ease into stuff. And now he's
Yeah.
coming into a team that has to win almost every single game going forward.
Yeah.
Which is
Yeah.
a lot.
Yeah, I get you. But do you think? I don't think he has to go crazy in this team.
Doesn't have to go crazy, but if they're he doesn't have to go crazy, no. But I don't see
What the fuck is he showing me for? It's getting dark here.
he doesn't have
And
to
I
go
thought-
crazy, I
Go on,
guess,
sorry.
but at the same time it's like he has to be good.
Yeah,
He
yeah,
can't- He can't be like, he can't be bad. Because it's not like I don't think Vitality were like super close here to qualify.
Mm.
Like
So there it
It's a harder
is.
group now too, right? Group Omega in the EMEA.
Yeah, one
Like-
of them's stacked. Is that the? Is that the
I would
Omega?
argue Omega because there's better potential for people to rise up
Yeah.
and how good they are. Like Ulf gets their subs back. Pacific is just, I think, doing better and better things, even though they were like in the lowers. And then you have FNATIC, Vitality, BBL. Like Giants also is like an anomaly in terms of like Could they qualify to international? Absolutely. Could they be, not doing that but still giving you a tough time? Yeah. So it's, I think, a terribly terrifying group.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I'm going to quickly ask you the same question we asked in Pacific, which is who's the most likely to win Santiago of the 3 EMEA teams? Liquid, Mates, or BBL?
I think this one is actually in order.
Like BBL, Mates, Liquid?
So maybe Liquid you could argue. Maybe that I'm wrong. But I think that it's
I
probably
think
in
I
order.
agree with that. I think the only reason that again, Liquid do great with time and stuff like that, but the only thing is, I mean, it's a fast fix. It was a fast fix to get them here, so I feel like they still have a lot to work on. That's like my only thing, because Corrode, you're not gonna be able to run this twice, and then Pearl, they only mid default, so that's already 2 maps, and one of them's probably gonna get picked.
I don't see like the problem I still see with Team Liquid and is like who would dominate? Who's gonna dominate that event from Team Liquid?
I mean,
Probably Nats if you're going in,
yeah,
I would assume.
probably Nats. Camo's been pretty good.
Camo has been decent, but I've never
Mini
seen.
on Neon has been pretty good.
Yeah, Mini Boo Neon.
Yeah.
I think they discovered a good thing for them.
They do have potential there. That's true.
My issue is that the other regions play against that a lot. Well, maybe not Americas. Americas, maybe they're starting to get a bit of joy.
But their first game is against T1. They're going to be quite used to it.
Yeah, they play against every single team that plays a Neon. But Mini Boo is up there.
No, Mini Boo definitely has that potential for sure. It's just for some reason it's just always for him. I just don't see him in that place, but he definitely can go there if that makes sense. Like I think people don't remember that he was literally like 2nd highest rated player at one point last year or something. Like but he needs to be there for this to happen. Like he has to do that, I think.
Yeah.
It's math though, right? Like you got to look at all the first seeds. We have like what, BBL, AG, FURIA, and Nongshim. And I think BBL is really strong up there already. And I think they have a really good chance. They have to also fix 2 maps. They're scary, man. I think no matter who's coming in out of like the other regions facing BBL's not gonna have a problem in that first game. I don't think they get jitters on that stage. Like they're a strong team, and they have a really good read on the meta. Like everyone's kind of adapting to the way they're kind of playing overall. I think strongest chance in the world at the moment, I think, is either BBL or Nongshim. But I'm leaning towards BBL even worldwide at best chance at winning Santiago.
Yeah. I mean, it's a fair take. I mean, statistically, they are starting in the playoffs, and so they statistically have the best chance. Even though I'm sure other people would argue that someone coming from the Swiss will get hot like they tend to do. But yeah, I think of the 4-1 seeds, I think most people would probably pick BBL maybe as the most.
No, wait. We need to start putting pressure on APAC, please. Like it's unfair that Achilleos is allowed to. Achilleos comes to my tweet and says, "Oh, I'm just gonna do the APAC thing," and they're gonna every single year. What happens is EMEA and Americas has this bit of beef off between each other and a bit of ego. And then we let APAC over there just be all whimsical on the side and have no pressure on them and no expectations. It's this meta. They've been training for this meta for 5 years. If they don't win this event, then something's wrong. So let's put that level of pressure on them.
I do agree with that as well.
Wow. The West, we need something going in the West. Well, I mean, EMEA, we need something in EMEA for sure. So this is the best
the West.
Really.
That's true.
Men of the West. He's going fucking theater.
I mean, it is League of Legends at this point.
Imagine losing to an EMEA Pearl as well.
Not even a full stop, not even capitals, just
free. That's crazy.
Yeah. Wow. You're getting shook up by that guy.
He's not wrong though, to be fair.
Nah, they're in a good spot, yeah.
I mean, yeah, Minnie, you were the one saying, "Oh, EMEA shit." I wish it's over.
Yeah, but I want us to win, so I need to. For some reason, I feel a bit more like I want us to, because it's nice to have these new teams, like BBL and Mate specifically. Like it's nice to see us doing something. Like even what you said earlier about the crowds and stuff. We got 2 teams here that have a lot of fans behind them. They're both playing. EMEA feels different right now. I know it's kickoff, but I genuinely think that EMEA feels like a different region now.
Okay, well, with that in mind, hopeful message for EMEA, Nats-esque speech there from Minnie to end it all. Let's move on to Americas. Shyo, Minnie, thank you for joining us. We're gonna bring in Mimi for Minnie and Dryad for Shyo.
We're gonna
take taking a break cut. Is that what we're doing?
Yeah, we're gonna take a quick break. They're not here just yet, so we're gonna take a break. Give them some time to join up. Get yourself some water.
No problem. Have any nice music for us, Kurt?
You want so much from me, man. It looks like you're about to get up too. Hold on.
You don't have the little pipes playing and stuff?
Pipes? Oh, yeah.
The little,
I got you.
little
It'll be super loud.
like medieval jaunty pipes.
What about
Oh, this is
this? No, that's not good.
We're going to the club.
All right, this is a classic.
Oh, there we go.
All right. Where the hell are these people? Hey everyone, subscribe to the channel. Now's your chance. You could be here before we get 100,000 subscribers. Imagine that. This is the song. Oh, I pressed the wrong button, but they're not here. No one's here, everybody. Just checking in. We might have to extend this break a bit.
Oh no.
I accidentally
Why?
showed the screen
Who's
just
late?
no one is here. Including you. Now you're back.
Oh, no. Oh, accidentally, not roasting us all. Classic America's tech pauses.
Oh, they both joined at the same time. Wow, that's crazy. They're like in sync.
It's
Wow.
not a tech pause if we're 20 seconds early.
No, this is actual America's
Oh, I need to get my water one second.
role play. Oh, guys, I gotta go to the toilet. Oh,
Gotta go. Oh, you guys have so much momentum. I really need to
Oh, God, I'm desperate.
Mimi has
No, that
7
was crazy
seconds.
though.
pee. How do we break this momentum? If only I need to go pee.
Yeah.
What a fucking pile of shit, by the way.
Hello.
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 You got the cat on deck, Dan?
I forgot to close my door, so now she's here.
Yeah, I got the cat on deck too. Look at this. Look at this little rat.
Shit. She's chill
What's she
though.
doing back there? She is kind of chill though. She's sitting there. Hello, Americas. We're here. You guys have been. Why did my camera just move itself?
God, you're on that mini.
What?
mini
Are
one.
you doing that, Kurt?
Yes.
What?
Live getting hacked.
It's the AI is tracking me. They're following my every move.
What is
I'm
happening?
Does anyone else smell burnt toast in the video ninja call right now, or is that just a me thing? No?
No. No.
Oh, okay. That's good, I'm sure. Welcome back to Americas. Kurt, I just subscribed with all 3,000 of my accounts. So we're now at 100,000 followers after you
Oh, we
asked.
did it?
Yeah,
Damn.
that
Let's
was me.
go.
Let's talk about Americas and start off by talking about what happened, which was funny. They said, you laugh, you go to the FURIA rebuild. 5 players laughed, and now they're the #1 seed going to Masters Santiago. They win a 5-map close series against MIBR to make it there. Let's start by just talking about this team in general. And I want to ask this. What was the moment for each of you that you believed that this team was actually legit and they were going to make it?
That they were gonna make it? I mean,
They
I
were
thought,
gonna-
I thought they were gonna win one of the best of
Yeah.
5s. I just thought it would be the next one.
Yeah, I'm totally with Siggy. When they, like, obviously we didn't know that at the time. Like, we did see multiple teams lose 3 best of 5s, but
Sure.
going into it, I was like, well, chances are, they'll win one. Maybe there'll be one team that doesn't do it, but I was like, chances are they will make it. But
But you
I
didn't
mean,
think they would have against MIBR?
during this game, though, like, I'm sure a lot of people, after they lost 12-0 on Breeze on the first half. Probably thought, oh, it's not this one then, is it? Because yeah, but I mean, yeah, this team. I mean, for me, this team, it's a great story. It is truly a great story to be like the FURIA from last year. Obviously, it's a completely different team, but just the org where they were to this. I mean, they were arguably, if not the worst team of all time last year. I mean, if you consider they only won a game with their subs, it was as rough as it could get. To get to this point where they're winning the upper finals and like you're like. It was funny watching the trophy lift. Like Koala Noob was so desperate to lift that trophy. He fucking loved. He was fucking loving it. He was like, his teammates are all like, you know, like slowly getting up. He's like grabbing that fucking trophy. He's like, let me lift this trophy. Let me lift this trophy. Like you.
I mean, the narrative for him is so sick because he has been waiting so long to do that. Like, this is the guy who lost 2 back-to-back BO5s in Ascension in a row to not make it. Finally gets a tier 1 opportunity after that.
Look at him. He's so desperate.
And he's on fucking Na'Vi, and that team is a disaster. And then his only America's chance is FURIA, the worst organization VCT Americas. I'm not talking about in terms of organization, but performance that we have in the league. And suddenly they fucking turn the ship around, and in the first ever event qualify. It is really just a ridiculous story to make it there.
I feel like he was out of everyone that won, he was the most excited. Out of every trophy lift that I saw, he was for sure the most excited. And dude, he had like a insanely valid reaction to how he played as well. I felt like he carried pretty heavy on a lot of the game, especially like a lot of first kills from him. But he's kind of meant to do that in his role as well, with Adam just making a lot of space. So that's what is essentially needed from him. But I just thought it was it's insane to do what he did so consistently as well. I would say is like the big takeaway, because like you kind of have a couple of these games where you're like, oh damn, he's doing like he's top fragging really heavy. He's like carrying a lot. Surely he can't do this all the time. And then like next game he's done it. Next game after that he's done it as well. So yeah, it's just such a nice team. EU's still kind of just rocking the boat as one of the most underrated initiators probably in the game at the moment. So and has been for a long time. So what a pickup from them. And dude, it was just so nice. As soon as I saw them on double pistol on the last map, I was like, oh shit, it's gonna happen. Like they're gonna do it. It was awesome to watch. It was a good best. I was so tired for this, but at the same time I was like, I'm so glad I stayed up for this. It was so sick.
I really liked them too, because I mean, I know you guys are saying that you knew they were gonna win one of the best of 5s, but maybe not this one against MIBR. But I think this one was the most winnable. And I know we think about, you know, MIBR and the players that they have, but I feel like what FURIA has as well is they have the right read on how the team should be playing, and they are flexible enough to make it happen. So like it's just you compare the things that MIBR is doing, and they're pretty simple. They're not, you know, doing anything different, but FURIA, just, you know, the flexibility between the 2 duelists that they have, and also everything that our team is willing to play. And on top of that, how vocal they are, which is something that I mentioned before when I listened to them, is like it's just a team that clicks together. Everything is working the way that they want to. And I know you just mentioned EU as well. I think he's just the most impressive player as well. I mean, he talks so much, he communicates so much. The team is like, I feel like working so well because of how good he is at communicating, especially with these newer players, and kind of guiding them through the rounds. It's just, I think it's so deserved, so impressive, and also they're like in the right time, right place to make it happen.
Yeah, and dude, they're like really smart as well. Like if you watch how like drilled they are, and especially like ult wise and stuff like that, they're like really on it with their ults, good understanding of big rounds, and how to snowball. Like everything that you want from them is there. You actually just watch them, and you're like, dude, this isn't a fluke. They're just like a legit team that has good understanding, and they're all very good on their agents. So it's dude, it's so nice to watch, man. The storylines for this event coming up is so good. I think this is probably the best though, to be honest. The FURIA one.
Yeah, the whole FURIA lore is really crazy, but I think also the way that they played, and I think they abused all the right things in the meta. What impressed me especially was was a limb, and just the way he was playing this waylay, I think it's like the exact right way to be playing it. Like the amount of Bucky rounds that this team is winning, every pistol round he is buying a shorty and he is diving on someone doing some bullshit. And I swear his consistency rate with getting a pick with a shorty on with dash or fract on a pistol round has got to be higher than like practically any other waylay player out there right now. They're getting ridiculous value out of him. The team is all stepping up individually in such big ways. Like you brought up EU, but I felt like he was playing so well. Even like he was good on previous teams, but he was playing incredibly in this whole playoff run. The util usage was on point. I don't know. It just felt like a confluence of like everything working in such a great way and having a style that works just right into this meta.
Yeah, I think it was also hard to, when I was watching them, at least when I was watching them play against MIBR that weren't on double duelist as well. I think they definitely took advantage of like some of the players from MIBR looking a little uncomfy as well.
Yeah.
I think that was a big part of it. But yeah, I also want to see Alan maybe play a little more neon. I'm pretty neon pilled from watching from watching a lot of Pacific, so I think he looks the comfiest on the neon as well. So I wonder if they're going to play that a little more going forward.
Yeah, it would be interesting to see if they pick that up a little bit more. How are our expectations for this team then going into Santiago? Because there is always the history of obviously every region had a team that, at least if you're like looking like bigger picture, like at the very beginning of the offseason, who you would expect to be good, was at least somewhat of a surprise to win at. It's all new organizations lifting the trophy and kind of getting that number one spot. That means they're going to get a bye when they go to Masters Santiago. Historically, teams have, not done too well when they come into their first event and they're playing against the really good teams who had time to warm up in the group stage. Do we expect them to perform at Santiago? How far does the heightened expectations go for FURIA?
I think the problem for them and all of the teams that are the 1 seed teams is I reckon we're likely going to see 2 of them, I would say, just kind of flop because of the things that you've mentioned. Like we've seen it historically, first LAN jitters, whatever it might be, an international or just, teams that go straight to the playoffs not being warm. Like a combination of those two generally doesn't go so well. Now there's 4 teams doing that, so I mean if all 4 like go out almost straight away, then we'll know there's probably a bit of a problem here. But I would expect probably it to be a 2-2 split, because you are like, these teams are probably their first game is going to be against G2, NRG, Paper Rex, whoever else, right? Like teams that are already done very well in the Swiss. So it's not going to be easy, but I think that they also like probably everyone at some point has gone, well, this team's not going to win this game, and they did. And we've all I mean, we literally just said like, we know they're probably not going to win this first one against MIBR, and then they did. They've kind of consistently shown, and I think just because they're like so solid, and I think so many of the teams, like we've talked about, other teams like have been changing a lot of stuff through kickoff, and kind of finding themselves. It felt like FURIA just knew who they were almost instantly, and kind of like were in that groove, like from the very start. And so depending on how teams, are going, like it's possible that some teams go into kickoff and they're still into Masters, and they still do need, like for instance, like Team Liquid, they can't play their corrode comp again, right? They're probably going to have to change that. They're probably going to have to change some stuff, that won't work. They're not going to be able to just avoid Alphia. Some teams have 5 shooters, like they're going to, you can't go with that strategy and hope to win every game. So if teams are still figuring stuff out, I back FURIA. The problem for them is that they're starting in the playoffs. And so probably the teams that they come up against won't need to figure out that as much, if you know what I mean. Unless they play the 1 seed teams.
Especially if you look at the teams who did qualify worldwide throughout it. You basically have majority legacy teams that have always had success at global events who are in those lower spots. You got your G2s, your NRGs, your Paper X's, your Liquids, all these teams that have tons of experience at that level and just seem like they need a little more time to figure it out, and will get that opportunity if they make it out of groups.
Yeah, I think it's true what you're saying. That they will have the experience in the lower bracket. And I think a lot of these Seed 1 teams would actually probably be a lot better. Yeah, I prefer going kind of through it. But normally I'm not on board with that. But I will also say that I feel like FURIA have been one of those teams with time. They've added in quite a lot of new stuff, and they have like a lot of options of where they go. So I do think they should be able to come up with pretty good stuff. So yeah, we'll see. It might be one of those where I say this every time the teams like miss the Swiss, and it's like, oh, they should come out with loads of new stuff, and then they play relatively similar. But I actually have faith that FURIA will come up with loads of new stuff, and they should at least I don't know, expectations maybe like I'm not saying win, but like top 4.
You think so?
Third, fourth, yeah.
Okay.
I think it's possible.
That's interesting. Yeah, I think just some other, just kind of round out like interesting stuff with this team is partially also that the way that it works, that it's 2 people who have, first of all, been through the absolute dregs in Americas even. Artson was with the MIBR team, who won absolutely nothing, and Shaw was with the FURIA last year, their coach, who just didn't win a match, and then come out into this setup where the coach speaks English, but during timeouts is like speaking in Portuguese to Artson, and then he's like translating to the rest of the team. It's a very interesting dynamic, and it's cool to see that they managed.
I mean, it's crazy that it's working.
Work.
That's the most impressive thing, because I feel like there's not a lot of teams. I feel like we've heard of maybe one team having issues with translation before, like maybe just a few, and it never really works. The fact that this is working for them is the most, I mean, it's the craziest thing. We talked about it last time, and it just doesn't seem like they need that much. It just seems like they've never been in a situation where that would be a point of concern, but I feel like it could be eventually.
Sure. I want to talk now about MIBR, and I want to talk through the story of their nightmare weekend sequentially by starting with this game against FURIA, and then we can kind of work our way down as we get to the rest of the matches.
I have something to say before we start. Wait, Kurt, I'm sending you something. I want to explain what really happened. Because I don't think you guys are understanding what really happened. Kurt, can we show
MIBR?
This, yes.
Okay.
Let me explain to you. You see this. This was a post made by Messina. He's saying, like, rest, wingman. I'm going to do everything to take you to Masters Santiago. That's what it says.
And this is a wingman sleeping in a bed in the tweet that he's posted.
Right.
Okay.
And why did he tweet this? This is a meme that has been going on for a while. And it was a Chilean soccer player that made this tweet. It was the same format. It was with his 2 sons, his 2 children sleeping on the bed, and saying, don't worry, go to bed, rest well, because your dad is going to make it to the World Cup. This was 2017. And his name is Arturo Vidal. Ever since, Chile has never made a World Cup, ever since he made that tweet. He had 1 game to make it. He made that tweet, and then ever since, nothing. Nothing
and
at all.
To put it into perspective, Chile were like good. They were good like before that as well. Like,
yeah,
this
I mean,
wasn't
they were so
run.
close
they were
to making
very
it.
good, and now it's been kind of like a disastrous run.
And
Ever
so
since.
why did Mazzino choose to make
So yeah,
this
why
tweet?
would he tweet that?
And that's what we all want to know. I just don't understand. I mean, he had to be so confident he was going to win one of the best of 5s.
I mean, you would be.
That is a crazy tweet to make. He deleted it after, by the way. That's why it's a screenshot.
Oh, no.
I mean, it already worked its magic. He's not helping anyone now.
Insane.
Dude.
And that's why they didn't make it, Dan?
That's why,
That's
yeah.
the only
That's it.
reason.
No, I think
That's
Sliggy
it.
now we go into your clip of flame.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, so okay, if we're just focusing on the FURIA
Let's start
game.
the first match. They're playing solid. They stomp on Breeze. We go into split. They lose a map 5. What were your thoughts after this match?
My thoughts were, okay, I had 2 thoughts. I was like, first of all, they should just be playing double duels.
First of all, I'm really tired. I've been streaming for 17 hours.
Yeah, first, I know.
That
That was my first thought. But I thought double duelist looks incredible. Then everyone else just when they play solo duelist just doesn't look good. And I felt like one of the only reasons they kind of lost split was because they didn't win a pistol. So I was actually looking at thinking it's not that bad if you look at the score. But then I was also just thinking they don't have enough time to change. So they're actually kind of just crap on 3 maps. When you play best of 5s, that's not good. They don't have the time to like fix it. So at that time I wasn't feeling like too bad. That was like my main worry. And like people in my chat were talking about vibe stuff and like having bad starts, but I was like, well, I don't think it looks that bad until the second game. That's when I was like, oh, okay, now if they don't get like the good starts, it looks like they can't kind of pick it up, on top of the fact that they might be pretty bad on 3 maps.
And also up to this point, this first best of 5, they were winning every single double duelist map until I think it was only that
They
split.
only lost split, yeah.
I wish they would have made changes. I understand there's really not, they don't have any time, but I feel like they just have to take the risk because nothing was working. Their maps were just not looking good. They're very limited in terms of how flexible they can get, especially if they're going to put second on smokes. I just wish they would have taken the risk. I think that would have been.
But they didn't
different.
know, because so it's like we just spoke about like Liquid and PaperX essentially like getting better and learning their mistakes like from the losses, but because it hadn't been punished, they didn't know it was wrong, I guess, or like feel as wrong as it was.
Sure.
And
And that's why I was concerned about whichever team lost this upper final.
Yeah.
I mean, I went on a whole spiel Plat chat last week on the desk this week that whoever loses this upper final was not going to qualify in Americas. And the main reason I was really pushing that was because you look at MIBR. Going into this game, they had played 5 maps total. And that's only like 4 distinct maps, only 5 maps of Valorant across the board. They barely played. Even FURIA, they beat a sub-roster. They beat Sentinels, who was in obviously not playing particularly well in that game. And then the G2 match, like I only felt like both of these teams had like one legit match to go off of before they went into this first BO5.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's totally fair. I think I think that's a fair shout because obviously not, and it has happened. So Mimi, congrats. Happy, pat yourself on the back. That's a wonderful prediction from you.
I don't know if I'm particularly happy about it, but it definitely happened.
But of the regions, I think you could. Obviously, we didn't know how the other games were going to go. But I think if you said it was going to be G2 and NRG that were waiting for you in those finals, I think
it's a scary.
Say, what are you doing, Kurt? You alright? You alright with moving the cameras?
He's just wiggling at this point.
But yeah, I think if you said they were waiting for them, it was going to be tough. And also G2 were given more time for some reason.
I got one clip because we speak about MIBR.
Super Bowl was shit, by the way, as well. Wasn't even worth not watching the game. Most people would have watched that fucking game. You could have put it on during the Super Bowl. Like dog shit game. Anyway,
speaking of dog shit, Kurt, you gotta run this round. So I'm talking about a lot.
Kurt's so quiet. He's like cackling in a corner.
Okay, 28 seconds. They're rotating with the spike. The spike is on Mazzino. 1 second, 2 seconds.
Oh
God,
got this
4 seconds, 5 seconds, 6 seconds. Basically 7 seconds for him to do it. Then decides to ult. Doesn't throw it to Aspas, who has double satchel. And then he's super late. How does it take? By the way, when he's throwing the smoke, he's standing still. Of course, it's not like 7 seconds while he's moving. He's decided to sit there and then gets body blocked and can't plant. It's actually worse than the original Melons. It actually is. It's insanity what I'm watching, and this is just probably the best demonstration of just people looking a little uncomfy on their roles on this one. They again would have benefited from going to a low bracket and then maybe having some stuff, but. I don't know, man.
What's crazy is,
look at the time when he gets the smoke out, dude. It's mental. He's holding it here. Here we go. Now, dude, it's 7 seconds. I had to look at it back. 7 seconds to throw this. He's not moving on the minimap.
What's also crazy about this though is this is still the point where they're absolutely dominating this game. Like they win this half. This is one of the 3 rounds that they lose in this half, and they're 2-0 up, and they were destroying. I mean, the start of this game from MIBR. Like I would say the G2. We kind of saw a similar thing happen to RRQ where you play against a team who's playing well in the middle final. You've come off an exhausting best of 5 and you just get fucking slapped around. And, you go next. And we saw from RRQ and MIBR, it's definitely for MIBR, in the third final, they turn up a bit more. And MIBR at the start of this game was shooting unbelievably well.
Yeah.
I mean, it was incredible some of the plays that they were making in this NRG game to the point where, I mean, it looked like it was going to be a 3-0 stomp on NRG, and we were going to be coming into this plat chat going like, what the hell happened to NRG? And we were going to say, oh, MIBR, they just played incredibly. I mean, they lose pistol bonus on Corrode, and then win 13-5. I mean, it was incredible. And obviously then from split second half through the rest of the way, I mean, I would say NRG like remembered who they were. It was like they finally like got into gear essentially. But I mean, the Haven was depressing. I think at one point, Josh and Sideshow said this felt worse than a 13-0. Like it felt like I was saying on my stream, this feels like a 24-0. the way this is
It
going.
is
right
crazy
now.
that
was,
Josh
yeah.
and Sideshow said that on the cast.
Oh,
That
sorry.
was-
You're sorry. I meant Bren and was it Wyatt who was there as well? Is Bren
Yeah,
or
it
Wyatt? I
was,
can
it
never
was. You're
remember
right.
which one it is. But yeah, it felt like a 24-0. I mean, it looked like NRG were playing peak. We're back to NRG, and they were playing against a ranked team by the time we got to Haven attack side.
It was a hard watch, man. I was
Yeah.
sinking in my chair. Just every time the text was getting killed from a spam, I was just
Oh
like,
my god.
It happened like
Oh my
3
god,
rounds.
insane.
yeah.
It
It
was,
was so sick
depressing.
to watch.
Yeah.
I think that
s-
also I feel like we had this question at the beginning of the year of who the vibes guy was going to be and how much he was going to play a part in it, and I feel like it's showing. I mean, they're like when they're down 10-2, 11-1, whatever it is, they're making jokes. Tex is saying, we're back, or Zekin is saying it, but I just don't think that's ever going to be enough. I mean, they had everything to close out the series.
I mean, even on Abyss, like they're down like 10-2 or whatever, going to defense side, and Aspas is like saying, "Oh well, here comes the Abyss defense side," because they've won like 4 out of like 30 rounds.
Going,
or whatever
going
it
into
is
this
on
match, they
Abyss
had won
defense.
3 rounds in their
Pretty much.
last 2 full 12-round defensive sides.
Yeah, 3 out
They
of
were averaging
24.
a round and a half.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
rough. But we'd spoken about something similar to this, where it's just like essentially Vives with the old Lev, right? 2024,
Yeah.
and they got 3 of
Which
the
is-
same players.
I
so-
think it is worth bringing up the comparison because it
Mhm.
does feel shockingly similar, not just in the way that they play in some ways, but also in the way that they failed. We can get into that, but make your point first.
I mean, that was my point. I'm just saying that
Okay.
we just yeah, you kind of nailed it. We'd essentially
Sorry.
like just done we'd done the comparison before, and that's what it reminded me of. I was just like, oh, dude, I remember I was talking about this like 2 years ago when we had 3 of the core.
Yeah.
It feels the same, where they're just bad start and it's just silence, like dry jokes.
Dude, this is why
no one's
fucking
laughing.
stoicism is not real. Do not listen to Marcus Aurelius. He was literally the fucking emperor of Rome. This rich guy, of course he could ignore everything else that was going on. When you're losing a game and no one's bringing positivity, you can't just ignore it. You cannot control every feeling. Anyways, that was a complete discretion. I think what another thing about this team is that is similar to Leviathan is the way that they play on their attack sides. In a meta
so
where there is a lot of shotgun
Mhm.
abuse, there's a lot of teams that have some really creative, like fast plays around the double deuce in the way. You think they have Ospas, they have Zekin, they're gonna have some of that stuff ready, but their attack sides are almost all extremely slow mid-rounding spread defaults sitting around for a while. And I think especially in the first game against FURIA and also in the G2 game, something both teams did really well was having ideas of how to be aggressive on extremities and pick off one of these players that you know is just going to be sitting on an extremity literally every single round. Like, I wanted to see this MIBR show us some depth in terms of the strategy and have some faster ideas and at least be able to threaten that, so when they go back and play super slow, it's not completely telegraphed. But I felt like it was in basically this whole run. And that's something that I feel like has been a theme on other MIBRs. And I do wonder if it is something with Fraud's coaching style too, of really liking that kind of slow, macro-heavy game, of really trying to get the right read in the mid-round. But Valorant right now, I mean, it's still important to have good macro, but more than ever, you're seeing even the most macro-focused teams, your G2s, playing double duelist comps and fucking running it down and doing crazy shit. And I think if you cannot at least match that in some rounds and threaten that you can have that same level of aggression and proactivity, teams just don't need to respect how you're playing, really.
Which
I
is
think
insane. We
one
got
thing-
Aspas and second on the team.
Yeah.
Why are we not doing that more?
Well, I think one of the big things for me with this team, as like a regret that we haven't been able to see it, is I feel like if Aspas could play, and maybe he can play Yoru, or whatever reason he doesn't play Yoru, that it is. I'm not saying it's his fault. Maybe it's the coach, whatever. Like, if he could play Yoru, it just seems so set up for Zekin to be his little fling him in and Aspas go clean up, a la we've seen,
Yes.
from people like Martine or even Koala Noob, right, for FURIA as well. Like, just that is such a good structure to have right now in terms of having a fling and someone then to get the kills, second duelist in afterwards. And you would think, like, you got Zekin and Aspas. I mean, you literally perhaps couldn't get 2 better players for those roles, right?
Yeah.
And I don't know, like, obviously Yoru suits that pretty well, and Aspas, as I say, doesn't play Yoru. But even so, you would think, like, that surely has to be our system, right? That has to be, that's what so many teams are finding success with, even if it is without Yoru, whatever, right? it just seems like you're so set up for that. You've got literally these two players who fit it perfectly.
I mean,
We don't
I
get to
feel
see-
like that's just a regret of him as a player in general,
Yeah.
right? When everyone switched over from Jet, you kind of had people that did Yoru. He missed the boat, and
Yeah, he did.
and I do think it is costing them a little bit because we got the space maker into the Yoru that farms. We've seen it work perfectly. Martins,
And then with the
breaking
scope
records.
as well, he can just go and dominate.
Last year, I remember he was playing a lot of Yoru in his rank games, and everybody thought he was just going to start playing Yoru only, but
Yeah.
I think he did it, like one game, and that's it? I don't know. It could be a comfort thing. It could be just the idea that Fraud has, because it seems like initially as well, he was not even planning on having them play double duelist. So I don't know.
Yeah, I think that's true as well. It really worries me when I watch them play smokes, especially when Zekken was like first going to go smokes. This in my pick'ems, I had him not making the first Masters because I was like, it takes so long to learn smokes. There's so much that goes into it. You even look at like the ones that turned into the best, like tens and stuff. It takes a long time. The beginning when tens went into smokes, it looked insanely rough. And it's same with Zekken here. Like there is so much that goes into it. So it's not surprising, but when they started playing the double duelist, I thought they were gonna succeed, to be honest, and scrape it. But it's gonna be interesting to see what direction they go. I don't know what well, I know what direction I would go. I would honestly put Aspas mainly on Neon. I think that's my fix for most teams at the moment, to be honest. And then go Neon, Jet, Raze, and just kind of he that plays those three, and then maybe Zekken more Waylay to send it if he's good at the Waylay. I don't really know.
Yeah. I mean, we're in a situation right now where, like, in the meta, teams are picking Waylay more than half of the time. She's one of the most played agents in the game, and MIBR is picking her in 16% of the games. They basically are never abusing this agent that is in such a good place. They're not putting their player, who, as we're talking about, could probably be so good on Yoru if he could learn it and like put in the time and be put in these positions. And they're not doing that. And instead, they're just playing the same slow style that they've been playing with different iterations of the team, with different Aspas teams in the past. I think that they need to really rework their focus going into the future and commit to double duelists, commit to Zekken on the hard dive, and let Aspas play that second spot. Let him up on defense. Do the stuff that you know is going to be good for him, and that feels like a path forward. But they just were not there in this event.
Again, I think they needed the early losses. Like I think they probably would have made it if they had lost one of their early.
You think it would have like woke them up a little?
Yeah, it would have just been so obvious that you had to change it. And then I think when it was obvious, it's still so risky to change it up.
Yeah. Well, let's talk then a little further about their opponents that they lost to in those latter two finals. The first of whom was G2. We hyped them up so much in their flip of styles in their previous game, going into this weekend, playing the double duelist, being hyper aggressive, putting on the Paper X mask, and they continued it in droves in this final. Showed us even more new compositions, and I think showed the perfect style matchup to completely destroy MIBR here.
Yeah,
I think they would have destroyed most teams, to be honest.
They
I just
played
feel
so
like,
good.
yeah, I just feel like, I mean, you highlight Violent there, Kurt. I mean, he was fucking unbelievable, and like Violent was absolutely insane last year, and he'd been, I think, a little bit quieter, to start off this kickoff, but this game was unreal, and G2, as a whole, like, this new style, like, I think, again, it's going to be very interesting how we do this power rankings going into Santiago, but I've got a feeling that G2 are going to be pretty high, if I had to guess.
I was watching the first map and I was like, I'm going to do that thing again where I put G2 at the top. I was like, I've been here before. I was looking how they play. I'm like, damn, they look good, bro. And I was just thinking, I was like, I can't put them first. Can I? maybe I can. Just having to argue with myself. I love this playstyle for them. It looks so good. Jorgamo on Neon is just so sick. His movement's so good. His mechanics are so good. He makes so much space. Valen's just playing absolutely insane. He's going for IGL Controller of the Year. They got robbed a little bit for some awards. So I feel like he's got a vendetta. He's on one to prove that he's the best at the moment. They kind of, even his like calls and stuff look really good. It's not even just fragging. Like you're looking at the minimap, I'm just thinking he's making no mistakes here. Like he's doing everything so well. He looks like a complete player. So Yeah, it's a scary team. We get to see Leaf on a bit of Euro as well. That was like a big.
Yeah, that was cool for one map.
That's a big thing. Yeah, I like that they're Also, it's like I think again their losses helped them, right, to kind of realize they were big wrong read of the meta, and then pivot midway through that actually kind of worked out a little better for them because teams got caught off by it. So shout out to the coaching staff for identifying it so early and changing it up. Is the good thing about this team. Like Leaf is insanely good on anything, and then Jorgamo's insanely good on all the duelists. So very flexible.
Yeah, they really did just look ridiculous. I want to ask then, is we look ahead to them going to Masters Santiago. They've shown us all these new compositions, some of which are like pretty off meta with the playing the at least in terms of like playing the like Phoenix stuff on their Pearl and on their Haven now as well. Do you think that they're gonna come in playing this like same stuff, these same ideas they came through, or do you think they're gonna have even more retooled and readied, or maybe even more comp changes for Santiago?
I think some comp changes on some maps. I think they're gonna struggle. The problem is they're playing a lot of Paper X comps and they play Paper X fast.
Yeah, I need to see a Phoenix against Paper X though on Pearl. I gotta see it just for the old time's sake. See what Paper X do against them.
The Haven will be fun to watch because they both play the same comps. They essentially just stole.
I can't believe
stole
they
all their
played
stuff.
Paper X too. Insane.
It's so
Just
good though.
every time.
I love that matchup, dude. It's so
Yeah.
good. It always is such a good matchup.
It's so funny though, because we always sell that matchup as like it's the ultimate style clash. It's Valorant's most aggressive team versus Valorant's like most slow defaulty macro team, and now it's just fucking pulls the Scooby-Doo mask off. It's also Paper X. Like it's gonna be so entertaining to watch that new edition of it, and also like. I know we've talked a lot about it on the show, but it is wild to me that Baby Bay, 30-year-old phenom, comes back in after having not played for like a year and a half, and they're putting him on like all sorts of different duelist roles. They're putting him on the chamber, and then he's like second fragging in the finals and just like
insane
destroying players like Zekin and Ospas.
And he's smart though. Like this round here, where this like a mind game from him and Vano just holding the same angle. They kind of know each other's there, even though they haven't made any sound cues for it. And then Valen just cleans up everything, doesn't have to worry about behind. It's so sick, man. Baby Bay is really good, dude.
Yeah.
Like he's impressed me so much. Again, it's not just the fragging ability, which is like really up there. He's like out-opping a lot of the big oppers we see. It's just like how smart he is a lot of the time as well. It's just super impressed, man. He's doing it for the old guys. It's kind of sick.
It is diabolical that Valen won a 1v4 in basically the same circumstance 2 maps in a row in the final. I think he did it first on Breeze and then on Haven as well, where MIBR just not playing together at all and just giving up these clutches. It was pretty brutal. But G2, very, very exciting. MIBR, we were not excited about them at all after this game. They go into the final against NRG, the final, and we were already talking about some of the trolling at the end that led to this failing. But I want to take a crack at this from the NRG perspective, in that they were playing really off-kilter for the first 2.5 maps. From there, turn it around at Split, only give away 1 round on Split, only give away 4 rounds on Abyss, 5 rounds on Haven to close out the final and qualify instead of losing out to MIBR here. How are we feeling about NRG now going into Santiago? Is it a similar theme to NRG where we felt like, or rather to G2, where we felt like they had their wake-up call, locked it in, and are in a better place now because of the losses, or where do we see them?
I was ready to make conspiracy theories and like map 1, map 2 because they look so off. I mean, I was like, they hate each other. They're fighting each other. They can't be. It's just, there were so many things that I feel like were going wrong. It was so uncharacteristic as well for NRG. Even when they're losing, at least you see them be able to execute their game plan a little bit. But for the first 2, it was like, they were not treating each other. I know a Bonker was calling timeouts, both of the timeouts after round 7. Everything felt like things were really going wrong. There was a round as well from Ethan looking like super frustrated from something that was going on in the round. Even not even going for not even going for the attempt to win the round going into that second half. I mean, there were so many. That was on Core Road as well. There were so many things as well that were going wrong. But once you see the last two maps, it's like, no, they're fine. They're like the same energy they've always been. They're fine.
Yeah, and it wasn't even like most of the other games in like, oh, bad start, like they're not getting any pistols. They were like winning, they were winning pistols. They're having like good starts into the half as well. They weren't just like really off. Kiko, like I felt it was like a lot of individuals missing a lot. Like I was watching Kiko Ethan, and I was just like, Jesus, like we're missing a lot of like easy things. We're not doing stuff on the same page. Yeah, basically as soon as they just won the was it split? Was the second? Was the third?
Yeah, second half was split.
Yeah, as soon as they won that pistol into the bonus, I was like, oh, okay,
Yeah.
dude, they're gonna have full belief right now. And then, dude, just by the end of Haven, it was like, holy shit, this team looks incredible. It was one of the weirdest best of fives to watch,
Yes.
to be honest. 'Cause it was just like the complete flip reverse of a team within the space of like 4 maps. It was really
They
weird.
won 7 pistols as well.
Yeah. There's like a
Yeah,
fight
yeah.
though in this split bonus round when they win on the attack side. And I can't remember who it is, but someone takes a 1v1 versus Aspas in Heaven to like start the round early. And they just like insta dome Aspas. And at that point, I actually got a little bit worried for MIBR straight away because like that's what wasn't happening before. They weren't winning that fight before.
Yeah.
MIBR was sitting them down every single fight. And so then as soon as they won that bonus, it was like, ooh, you know, maybe they're back. And then it really started to feel like, you know, they started like warming up, trading really well again, and kind of, you know, getting into it. And then I do think that they were helped that the next map was Abyss,
Mhm.
right? So the MIBR just like, they aren't very good at Abyss. And so it was kind of like a, NRG probably already felt like they were going to win that map no matter what. And so
Yeah.
that was just like an extra like, oh yeah, we're fully back. And then Haven was, yeah, one of the most one-sided first 11 rounds. The attack side on Haven, MIBR's kills, they are like minus 33 or something. Just on that side. Like if you go to attack here, Kurt, I think it's something like minus 33.
Jeez,
like
look
it
at 'em,
was
yeah.
a giga stomp. I mean, an absolute destruction on Haven, which was, yeah, just like, it was like NRG from Champs had come back. We had, like, they just got back into the server all of a sudden. And, you know,
Yeah.
Brock's killing everyone with an Odin again. And it's like, why is no one else doing this? I don't know.
Yeah.
But, yeah, he's just the master of it. And, yeah, I'm not worried about them. I'm not worried about them at all. I think that they almost, they almost got maybe a bit fortunate that, you know, this happened in a way, because it's like it's out of your system now. Like I'd be surprised if I see them play that bad again. You know, that they were on those first couple maps, or at least I hope not, because you'd feel like with this team, what we saw in Champs was they'll at least, like you're kind of saying, Dryad, they'll at least like give you a certain level. It's like their plans and stuff, like between everything, their aim, you know, the individual talent, plus like the plans that they come into, like something will work, and they will at least make the game close, and you've got to play very well to beat them.
Sure.
It just felt like nothing was going that way on the first couple maps, but that I don't think will happen again.
I mean, even
I hope.
when I saw surely. When I
Surely,
saw
surely.
the maps and I saw that Abyss and Haven were lost. Abyss for MIBR, it was never looking good. Even when they switched to the Astra, it was just like you said. I mean, it was NRG would be pretty confident that they were gonna win that. And in Haven is the one map where I feel like MIBR is very uncomfortable in the agents that they're playing specifically. I mean, the only ones that are more in the roles that they're used to playing is Verno and Tex. But everybody else is like, yeah, sure, they can play it, but is this a map where they're comfortable, especially as a last map when they just lost 2? They know they're going to be reverse sweep. Like, nobody is bringing the vibes up. It's just, it was a perfect mix for NRG to have success here.
They're and not that I know the Chinese teams too well, but I think they're the only team going into Santiago that don't play double duelist. Are we high up on that? Or I don't really know where to sit with it as well. It might actually work well for them.
I don't know. I feel like they play so well with that style. And to me, when I watch their non-double duelist maps, I think I can always see what they're gaining in giving up a second duelist. I think like the Abyss is a good example where they're not playing they're not playing that there. Obviously that's also a pretty common like double smokes map, but it's like they're playing this double drone comp, and on their defense side they're so proactive with like reclearing space with the drones and constantly having great info, and they have one of the best defensive Abysses in my opinion. I think you even go to other maps like their bind, and I feel like I can also see like kind of a similar theory there with like how they're getting value out of it. And what really makes it is that Mata is still just so good at playing solo Waylay and getting value out of it, and knowing when to play for the hinder, knowing when to, you know, go in and actually hard commit. And it's just a style that works for them, and at least in my opinion, I don't feel like it's going to be a limiting factor, even if they can't, you know, go on to make some crazy run here. Any dissent?
No.
Okay.
But well, I'll let you know if they lose to someone playing double duelist in Santiago. I'll let you know. Yes, I disagree, but
Okay.
if they win the event, no, that was so right. It was so.
I mean,
right
they're just really good at mixing up their pace. Like they're, even if they're not playing the double duelist, they know how to play some of the fastest rounds. I mean, compared to MIBR, for example, even when they were playing double duelists, you don't see them doing the same things that Energy was doing. So I think they're fine. I don't think there's been a point where you're watching Energy and thinking, oh yeah, they should be playing double duelists here.
Sure. I think if they wanted to shift on some maps, like you were saying, they always have like the fast set. They actually do it more than most teams. The preset rounds with barrier down.
Yeah.
Like they could, if they wanted to like fix one of their maps relatively fast, I think they could lean on it, and it would work well. Like they would have such good theory with Bonka there that they would at least win the first game on it. Yeah, I don't know if
Kiko's
they
also really good at it. So
yeah, that's what I mean.
A neon
A
Waylay,
neon-
Mata, Kiko. Yeah, we're probably cooking a little bit.
And I think that is
could see
actually an
them doing
asset for
it.
them to be able to show that they're very good playing a similar style to what they played at Champions, but have that threat that you know they have the players to make it happen and like switch up. This fucking round was ridiculous, by the way.
This is so
The
insane.
amount of time Mata spent in this corner, just sitting, waiting. This was the round they won the match on too, wasn't it?
I mean, yeah, but to me the game was already over.
I mean, yes, it was. It was over long ago.
It was over as the map started.
Yeah.
There he goes. Last question for NRG. After having reflected on a full off season, full kickoff for them, where are we standing on Kiko? Just quick review.
Taking some time. It's taken some time.
Yeah, he hasn't been probably as good as most people probably would have thought off the rip. But I do like, but then again, like, you know, maybe if he was put in more of a double duelist position to carry, you know, maybe he would a bit more, right? So I'm not particularly like super worried. He had some rough maps in this game, but
I will say, like, in his defense, a lot of the time his role is to send it also with when it is solo duelist, so it's not like all the time it's him looking not up to his standard. But I do think overall
Him waving is crazy.
He's got way more to give.
Also, did he ever play Astra? I know he played Smokes, but did he actually play Astra on Liquid? I can't remember. I feel like
maybe
they changed it for
old
when
school
it was Astra.
Fracture. I'm trying to think. I want to say Fracture he did, but other than that, I'm not sure.
I think the only map where we've seen Kiko look the way that we expected, maybe in the team, was Abyss on that last series. He was insane as well, winning him so many rounds as well, in the way that he was playing on A side as well, or B. But outside of that, I just think he's doing his job, you know.
Yeah.
Cool. and you know what? Sometimes that's good enough. He's clocking in.
It is
clocking
good enough.
out.
No, he's good. He's good. But I think people were expecting, I don't know, like more. But I mean, they're fine. It's fine.
Made it to Santiago. They're
more to
fine.
give.
They made it. It's fine.
If they bomb out in Santiago, we'll panic.
Great. That sounds like a plan. Let's quickly talk about the other two teams that played this weekend in
Oh my
Americas.
God.
neither of whom are going to be making it to Masters Santiago. What has got you saying, oh my god? PNP?
Because this 100 Thieves Cloud9 game, I don't think I've been more angry. Because, like, we're doing these streams that last for a fucking day and a half. I'm having to end my stream because YouTube VODs don't, if it's 12 hours, it doesn't save. So I'm having to end my stream, restart them. And then I'm watching 100 Thieves Cloud9, and I'm just begging. Whoever wins this game, whoever wins map 1, please win map 2. That's all I'm begging them to win map 2 in this game, so that we can get to the next map. we get to map 1. I would actually say Cloud9, I think, should have edged this map and probably would have won this map, right? Then we get to map 2. Okay, it's split. 100 Thieves won it. Cool. Let's go 100 Thieves. Let's close this out, right? And Cloud9, of course, win double pistol and a bonus. And then we get to round, I think, is it round 22 or 23? I can't remember.
Yeah,
but 100 Thieves.
It's 22, right?
Is it 22?
I think it's 20. You're talking about the Zalsis 1v3.
Yes, and
Yeah.
I'm losing my fucking
Insane.
shit, man. I'm losing my shit. Like, please just win so I can watch the other game and not be so tired. And of course, this fucking team decides to waste my time, waste my time by losing this round. Because then, of course, they go into the next map and absolutely stomp. And that map is the biggest waste of my life I've ever seen. and then, because of course this was going to happen, whoever won this game was going to play against Gen.G, get absolutely fucking slapped, and it was all a waste of time. We could have emailed this game, we could have played this off screen and got to the best of 5, and I could have slept. And instead, they do this. So I was fucking pissed off at both these teams.
It's yeah, it's valid, man. I remember watching this and I was like,
Look
yeah.
at this shit,
No,
Sleggy!
this
He's
is-
trapped in a Viper's pit down shore! He doesn't even have the spike! What the fuck are they doing?
It's one of the worst 1v3s I've ever seen. It actually is. No, it really is.
When he
It's up
just
there.
turns around, there's just a player there, knife out, doing nothing. It's so fucking ridiculous. Oh,
But
and
yeah, that
then
was an hour of my life
and
I
then
didn't get back.
Oh my god, Zelsis does the most readable thing in the world. It should be a checkmate. He has the exact right idea. Bang, perfect read. He's about to kill the Viper, walking around the corner. Oh my god. It's a
Yeah.
pulls out his knife.
God.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Let's
was a tough-
let's reset from the circumstances of what this match was and talk about what the future of these teams were. Obviously, 100 Thieves got absolutely eaten alive by NRG. NRG had a perfect game plan. They prepped against them super well. They stomped the hell out of them. However, 100 Thieves still technically off of that, the 5th place team out of Americas. Was this a squad that met expectations, exceeded it? Where do we see them looking ahead? Does this team have a chance to make an international this year?
Yeah. Sure. Yeah. I mean, I still felt pretty good. We're talking about 100 Thieves, right?
Yeah.
For sure. Yeah. I think 100 Thieves look good, man. They got proven good coaching staff. They can maybe some of their meta stuff could go a little more mainstream, but it kind of works for them. They got pretty good theory on like the Sage and the Chamber and stuff like that. I think there's a lot of good from this. I think they just need to, on the bigger games, win some pistols. Really, that would probably help them out as well. But I'm just like, I think they look better than I thought they were going to look. So yeah. I can only be positive about them. I would lean into Cryo Chamber a little, like as much as
you
possible.
Want less veto, more Chamber?
I want more, I want more Chamber. I think he's one of the best chambers, man. I think I would lean just pretty heavy into that. Yeah, I like them. I think they look good. I think Timotino's like really, really good as well. I don't know too much about him, but again, my fix at the moment, I'll be putting everyone on Neon if he can play it on some maps as well. So I'm telling you, it's so good right now.
Oh, I'm so with you, Sliggy.
It's so good. Just every team that isn't watching Neon, I'm just like, man. You're missing out. You're missing out. Yeah.
You've got a good Neon. You can just abuse. There's so much that you can abuse just constantly. Like,
yeah. I think it would also be so nice
like
with it would be so nice with having a perma chamber player as well. It's just time is a flat circle. It's Champions 2022. Victor, run in there, buddy. You gotta get some space for Yay. You gotta get some space for him. Or I guess it was Zekin for Xset for Cryo. Anyways,
the last thing I'll say about 100 Thieves is like, again, I think their coaching stuff's like really good. They kind of set up for the future of this one. I really thought though, after watching NRG struggle against G2, like changing their stuff, I really thought Doom Bros historically, at least when I used to coach against him, would change up every single time we play them, to the point where we didn't used to anti them. That we knew they would just change it up. We just save the time, because normally you would just anti and then throw it in the bin. I really fought here because it felt like when I watched NRG and they changed it up without a game plan, they didn't know what they were doing. So I thought, dude, this is a perfect time for 100 Thieves to do that. So I kind of wanted them to be a little riskier here. But sometimes you got to have the players believing in it. I don't know too much about the dynamics, but I would like to have seen them take more risks, to be honest. But it's a good starting point for them. They got a really strong team, and they got some of the best coaches.
Okay. Let's then riff quickly on Cloud9
No.
as well. No?
We don't have to. We don't have to.
You don't wanna? You don't want to talk about Cloud9, Dan? Dan, give me a paragraph about Cloud9.
A paragraph?
Anything of your choice. This is your assignment. This is your
sentence.
homework for today.
One sentence.
It doesn't matter when or why Cloud9 will not make.
I mean, they are the only team now. The only
Yeah.
They are the only
How?
players.
Like,
Of
how
the
is that
original partnership
possible?
ones.
They are the
I used to
only
be
team.
like #1 Cloud9 fan, like for the past 3 years. I always believed, even when nobody else did, but now I just can't do it anymore. And it's really sad because this time around it seems like they figure it out. They're like, wait, we have Penny, we have Oxy in the team. Wait, we can play double duelist. It just seems like they were almost there, but it just can never happen. I don't know anymore. I can't.
I think in terms of positives, I think the Celsius IGLing actually it got pretty decent. I can see like the vision. I think Penny does a lot of the selfless stuff. But my God, this team gets ecoed a lot, like a lot. They're up there with the Paper X's and the EDGs. They're getting thriftied all the time, so they got to sort that out.
Yeah.
Cloud9 global jersey for sale. Never worn. That's my saddest 7-word poem. For this team. Anything else to add on C9? Any like do we expect them to make any changes going into stage 1, or do you think this is
Nah,
the
if you're gonna
roster
make
to commit to?
if you were gonna make changes, you would have made it when Demon 1 was available.
Yeah. They didn't. Well,
Yeah.
that's
It was
the
Cloud9.
3 teams then. Yep, they are
Yeah,
Cloud9.
I mean, they're right where they want to be, 6th.
Yeah, they did the exact Cloud9 thing where it felt like they figured it out, and then they didn't.
They get us
Yeah.
every time.
Yeah, they
Yeah.
got us every time. They got me. Flashback to this year's gonna be different. Put them 5th in the power rankings, Scott.
They're always just one
Same
spot
shit.
off.
Same shit every time. When will we learn? Well, that wraps it up for the main Americas segment here, and for all the rest of the games we had to talk about today, and brings us, of course, to the most important segment of the week, Wyatt's Weekly Award.
Wait, is it?
And I'm gonna fix this.
He's a professional fixer, man. I want to ask any nominations for Wyatt's Weekly Award this week from the panel.
Interesting.
Kurt had a nomination.
Well, I would give it to the FURIA coach.
You would give it to Shaw,
Ooh.
Yeah, I'd give it to Shaw.
whose name you know.
That's crazy, actually.
Of course.
We're pals.
Yeah.
Martin, maybe? Martin.
Oh,
I mean, Martin.
that's
a good
That's
idea.
a good one.
Mm.
That's a good one.
Whew.
Yeah,
We
Okay.
gotta
Should
give it
be
to
Martin.
Martin. You can't just
Yeah,
do
it
that
should
and
be
not
Martin,
get
yeah.
it.
He nearly broke it, and then he did break it. Like he,
Yeah. What was it?
did insane.
126 kills in
Yeah.
that final for Martin. He dropped over 100 in the game before as well that they lost to BBL. I mean, just a ridiculous weekend from him as a whole. And this is from a guy who was there for the lows of KC, hadn't had a tier 1 opportunity before that, to now get this complete breakout year and come out and perform like that. So yeah, great nomination. Wyatt's Weekly Award, it goes to Martin from Gentlemates. Congratulations to him. Super excited to watch that team play in the middle bracket. Well, why did I just say in the middle bracket? That game happened.
What do you mean
Oh
by
my
that, Mimi?
God. In Santiago. In Santiago. Where they will be going into the playoff run. Yeah, that was a really well delivered award, but congratulations to Martin. All right, next week we will have our top 10 Masters Santiago players and letting you know everything that we need to know. But to do our top 10 list, we need your top 10 players. Check the description and vote for the community top 10 from which all our takes will be judged. Do good work. Make a good top 10, and you can do that while you're down in the description. While you're doing that, make sure to subscribe and become a member. Maybe your question can get featured on next week's episode. Well, that's all for episode 253. Next week, 254, everything you need to know ahead of Masters Santiago. We'll see you there.